Guys, y'all see the banner. Y'all seen the thumbnail. Well, first, let me say good evening, good Wednesday to you guys. It's a blessing to be here. Looking forward to doing the show today. I know it's way different than probably what I normally do. And that's okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with doing something different. But this is part of me. Whether people may want to believe it or not, this is part of me. DC versus Marvel. I don't know if it's really a versus or not like that, but you never know what it could go into. We'll see. Depending on who comes up here and the audience we may have, and the people in the chat, how they may take it. It may consider it a versus. I don't think it is, but I just think it's just going to be some guys and some ladies, and more than welcome, just going to just talk about things about the difference between Marvel and DC and what's going on. What can we do to improve it? You know, when you used to go to barbershop, I remember going to my uncle's barbershop. We used to solve all world problems, right? Relationship, world issues, politics, doesn't matter. Sports, we was the coach. We did it all. And by the time you left, you feel like you solved every problem that was out there. Knowing it wasn't true, but you felt that way. We're going to do the same thing today. Instead of in the barbershop, we're going to do it in the basement. And without further ado, let me bring up my special guest, my man Jedi Mike. Man, the brother just recently married to a lovely woman, a lovely lady named Tamika. So congratulations to them and their family. I kind of put him on the spot earlier. I'm not going to say what I said because it's none of y'all business. Now, if he chooses to share what I said, that's on him. But, congratulations again. They are part of the Most High's blessed fraternity, and that is marriage. So shout out to that brother. Now, I know he's in his own fraternity, but that's not for me to say. But I think he's in the most blessed fraternity. That's the fraternity of marriage. Shout out to him and his wife. Let me welcome the brother. No, without further ado, let me bring the brother. Jedi Mike.
How you doing?
Good afternoon. Good evening, brother. How you doing? Hopefully all is well with you.
Yeah, doing good. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to the discussion and everything, but thank you for having me. Yeah, no, Christmas around the corner. Definitely first Christmas as a married couple and stuff. So I already got, things in store. So I just need to get through these, with this next week of work and everything, trying to put you on 16-hour jobs and everything. But, they got to get through it before, it's holiday. So, but yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, glad you able to join me today. When we, I think it was Aaron's show. I think we had it on. I don't know.
It was Fight Club.
Okay, so we had that conversation, and I always wanted to do that show, but it was just about the right time. I said, well, look, why not do it around Christmas time, around December? It's the holidays. Plan on having some more movies come out in the near future between the month of January and, usually around the summertime, around May and June, you have another movie. I said, why not? It's a toy season. I like action figures. New movies come out. There's going to be some new action figures. I said, let me do around the end. Somebody beat me to the punch, but that's okay. Not completely, but we kind of have a conversation. And
right.
Some guys that was up there, man, they seem real knowledgeable. So hopefully I know you reached out to a couple of them. Hopefully they're able to join us on the panel and to have this discussion, because I think it's a great discussion to have. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with that being said, let me ask you this, Jedi. How was you introduced into these two great worlds of DC and Marvel? What was your introduction to it?
Well, when I was, I would say, I don't want to say the earliest memory, probably around 5 or 6 years old. I believe the year was 2000. I want to say 2004, 2005 when Spider-Man 2 came out with Sam Raimi. And I don't want to be mistaken with that, but that was to me, it was still one of my favorite films of all time. Like, not just my favorite superhero movie. Like, I can take that film and use it in different points of my life and apply to it now. Like, me just being who I am, like in elementary school, me being in college, him struggling with that, also dealing with relationship, dealing with purpose and trying to balance the world. As you get to adult, you have more responsibilities. The more power you have, the more responsibilities you have. But that film to me felt, and I know for a lot of people, it's still one of their favorite Spider-Man movies of all time. But aside from terms of Marvel, I've always been a Spider-Man fan. with DC actually got my love of comics and these storylines with uh, numerous amount of characters and with these animated shows. And it started with uh, Justice League Unlimited and Static Shock, right? Back in the day, in the late '90s, early 2000s, WB, which is a network, and you call it Cartoon Network, whatever, but WB on Saturday mornings will have these shows they'll play in the late '90s, probably before I was even born. But they had the Batman animated series. They had the Superman animated series as well. But then that developed into their own Justice League show, Justice League, and then Justice League Unlimited. But then on the side, they had Static Shock, which is a black kid from Dakota City with electrical powers. If you look at him today, he's basically almost this term his personality is similar to what you think of Miles Morales, Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse. But then Static Shock did it first. But that those animated shows got me my love of these characters, and it was also one of my early childhood memories with my dad. Just we would watch that on Saturday mornings, just watch those cartoons on reruns. Like I'm actually know what's going on. Here we are, 20 years later, through different animated shows and movies, and now them making these superhero TV shows and stuff. They're pulling things back from I remember this characters when I saw when I was a kid. This character on Justice League Unlimited, right? And so that really got me my love of comics, and then I kind of just bled over with Marvel as I just kind of gotten older into the early properties and stuff like that. But yeah,
So the Justice League, when you say that, it takes me back. I remember in the 80s, I want to say about the late 80s is where I really remember. I think the Justice League I was introduced to. I wasn't a big comic book fan of the DC or the Marvel thing. I was more so G.I. Joe and Transformers
it's
as
my
far
dad.
as far as the comic books. Those was like my favorite toys. Those was my favorite characters as far as a toy. Uh, as far as Marvel, I really got to introduced to it. Maybe like I said, when I got a hold to the cartoons. The ones that they're about to remake, about what 97, X-Men and all that. That's when I got introduced to that world. Now DC, I was already introduced because I go back to the days of watching the 1966 reruns. Now I'm saying reruns. I ain't that old. I'm old, but I'm not that
Right,
old.
exactly, right.
1966 reruns of Batman and the Superman. So that was my introduction to it. I remember seeing the Hulk. I seen some of that with Lou Ferrigno. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Those old Hulks,
right.
but didn't equate that to Marvel. I just thought this was the Hulk. And they also had like cameo characters of Thor on there at one time.
Right,
Uh,
yeah, those
who
crossovers,
else
yeah.
I'm not seeing on there? Of course, I guess he wasn't considered the Red Hulk because the other Hulk was I think his grandfather or something on the TV show. Now,
With
of course,
David
they kind
Banner,
of
with David
yeah, yeah,
Banner,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and yeah,
So they kind of messed that all up with that compared to the TV show, compared to what's going on to the comics and all of that. To me,
right,
but that was my introduction. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, late 70s and early 80s when I see the Hulk. Like I said, I seen the reruns of the Batman for the DC. So that was kind of my introduction before I really got into the comics. And I still didn't realize they did those comics, even though I was watching some of them shows that back then. I was, like I said, I really started my comic book thing. I was watching and reading and even collecting them at one point
right.
was with G.I. Joe and Transformers. But then once I found out about it, I'm like, okay. I didn't really collect them. I remember, back then we used to trade comic books. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the kids even do it anymore, but we used to trade comic books. Hey, I trade you this for this. And so I traded a couple times to get some couple DC comic books and to get a couple Superman comic books. So that was my opportunity to read some of them. Now, like I said, I really didn't collect them. I wish I still had some of the comic books, the value on them now. But young boy, we don't take care of stuff like we used to, back then. But good stuff, man. That's good stuff. I'm glad to hear. Let me bring this other brother up. my man Red here right up. It's first time to the show, brother. What's going on, brother? How you doing tonight?
Doing all right, man. How y'all fellas doing? Sorry, I'm running
I'm good to see you.
a
No, it's
little
the first
late.
time to the show, right? I believe it is.
Yeah,
So
it is. It is.
I have to ask you the question I ask everybody who's the first time onto the basement, man. What is your guilty pleasure songs?
My
What are some
guilty
songs you
pleasure.
like to listen to? No, like the guilty pleasure. Don't go there.
Oh,
Don't we?
okay. The stuff I usually don't tell people about.
Yeah, well, yeah, your guilty pleasure songs. What you like to
Yeah,
listen to, but you
Red
be
Hot
kind of
Chili Peppers.
embarrassed to listen to it if your friends heard it, but you hear it on the radio, you be rocking out. You understand what I'm saying?
I like the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay,
I
I can
like
dig it.
I like some Britney Spears stuff,
Okay,
like that song
okay.
"Toxic" and stuff like that. It goes hard, man. Madonna, she got this song "Don't Tell Me to Stop," but she had like cowboy clothes on.
My man, you got a whole list on your iPhone right now, don't you?
Yeah, I like a diverse kind of music, man.
Good stuff, man. That's good stuff. So, man, welcome to the show tonight. I appreciate you, brother. I remember you was one of the brothers when we was at the Fight Club and we was talking about this, having that conversation. You was real knowledgeable. So I appreciate you even coming up. I appreciate Jedi Mike reaching out to you, letting you know what was going on. So thanks for being here tonight, my brother. I appreciate that.
Man.
So let me ask you this. What was your introduction to the DC and Marvel world?
I got an aunt that's 6 years older than me, and
Okay.
he's called her Lil Mama because in the black community, older aunts got to step up. So she semi-raised me and my brother. That's why they call her Lil Mama.
Mhm.
And she taught me how to read earlier than I should have. So my first introduction was in kindergarten. They had this stack of comic books in the classroom, but I think it was just for us to look at and things like that. And I was able to read then, and I read I want to say Squadron Supreme comic book.
The Squadron Supreme. Okay.
I read a
Yeah.
Squadron Supreme comic book because I remember Nighthawk was in it or something,
Yeah.
and that's the first time I read one of the first thing read a comic book in kindergarten, and I was into it ever since.
Mm. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, man, look, I know one of the things we have to talk about, and I hate even talk about this, man. I hate to see a brother go through this, right? Jonathan Majors, man.
That nigga was running. He was running.
He was running, man. That boy was
Look, let
running
me,
like,
hey, before y'all ruin it for those who's been under the rock, who has no idea what y'all talking about, let me show the clip where you silly for that. Sit your ass down. You ain't right. You know you ain't right.
listen.
Let me show the clip, and hopefully they don't strike the shit out of me.
Oh no.
For this goddamn clip. We'll see. Let's see. Let's look at it.
That's just hilarious.
Girl, get your ass in that damn. No, you're not getting me.
So right here, Jonathan Majors just forcing, girl, go on about your business. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
He's trying to get away from the woman.
No,
He's
man.
like, leave me alone. I'm out. Get off me.
That's all, folks.
So now he took off. He's a goddamn track star.
He's a runner. He's a track star.
Come back. Trying to run in them goddamn hills, knowing she can't run in them hills.
He's nigga running from the quantum realm. Like he trying to get out.
He said the quantum realm. So right there, as y'all can see, that is Jonathan Majors steadily trying to get away from this crazy white.
She said, "I don't care. Hit my car. Hit me. I'll get that."
You lost your goddamn. She's still trying to run, boy. That's love.
He cut the corner on her. He cut the corner on like NFL running the rock.
I'm telling you, that type of run, she's still running. Knowing she's tired, she's hurting. That's that run that that man done put that Mandingo down on her, and I still want it in my life. Run, I'm gonna get it. He's not getting nowhere. But then reality kicked in. I can't keep up with this motherfucker. I'll be waiting for him at the apartment.
He was running like Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossible movie.
Seriously, he trying to beat this new record. He trying to beat his record. Nah.
Like the Terminator along when he was chasing that car, the T-1000 when he was chasing the car.
Listen, obviously, I'm not trying to, condone domestic violence or anything like that, but man, we're in crazy times when black men were running from white women. And you know what it reminds me of? If you've seen Lovecraft Country, there was a white blonde woman, right? There was a character, and she actually in the show, spoiler, she actually killed Jonathan Major's character because she was a witch, right? But she needed to use his blood, to make her immortal and everything, right? But yeah, I was thinking on seeing that, he's just trying to like, nope, not today. She was just dead.
He said, "This feel like deja vu. I'm not
Yeah.
going through that shit again."
No.
Well, look, guys. For those who may not know or may be under rock, I don't know why you don't know because it's been all over everywhere. Even for those people who are not into the Marvel thing or the comic book thing or anything like that, Jonathan Major's been accused of assaulting her, domestic violence and all of that, to the point where now they are in court, and so he's been on trial for almost a week now, right? I think it's been a week.
Probably maybe 2.
It's been 2.
Going on week 2, yeah.
Yeah.
But they said tomorrow, supposedly the jury is going to be deliberating over the situation. So,
yep,
we'll see how that goes. Let me bring another brother up.
I think.
What's going on, brother? You good tonight?
What's going on, gentlemen? I'm great. No complaints. Hope everyone's well.
How you doing,
man? Well, you normally in the chat, but it's good to have you on the show, man. I think it's the first time up here for you, ain't it, brother? Man.
We were on another, like 2 or other panels, I think, on someone else's show.
Okay, yeah, I remember that, but I'm talking about in the basement. When you first got in the basement, I got to ask a question. Just like I asked the Red Pill Ranger, brother. What is your guilty pleasure song? Not your guilty pleasures, but your guilty pleasure songs. You know what I'm saying? What songs you like to rock out to, but you'd be kind of embarrassed if they found out you was listening to it, but you're going to crank it up every time you hear it on the radio.
Oh, man, maybe that Gnarls Barkley song, that Crazy.
You don't want to sing a couple verses, do you? No, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, brother, I appreciate you on the show tonight, man. And so let me ask you the question. What was your introduction to the Marvel and DC world?
Oh, yeah, this is a great conversation. I think similar to you, Hank. The old school Batman shows, the reruns. I'm not that old, so it was the reruns. And then we had comics, and like you said, we would trade comics. But I think it was probably the first introduction was that black and white show. I don't know if it was on I don't know, TV Land or one of these syndicated channels back in the day.
Mm-hmm. So how old are you, Mofree? How old are you, big brother? Let me ask you this.
I'm sorry, what was that?
How old are you? Because you sound like you about my age range. We got
I'm 39.
young guys. How old? I'm sorry.
Oh, 39.
Okay. Well, you closer than to me. Okay, goddamn.
I'm probably older than you, Nick. I'm probably older than you.
I'm 48. I don't know about that, brother.
I'm 45. You got me.
Okay. Well, so me and you the old heads.
Yeah, we some OGs.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's all good. Us old heads. We like to have fun.
We got a nice range around here right now.
Yeah. 25.
That's okay. We gonna look. The young cat can school us. We can school the young cat. However it goes, man. It's all good. But man, I definitely want to have this conversation, man, because it's definitely needed. And like I said, I'm hoping and wishing for the best for Jonathan Major. I hope Kane is not eliminated out of the Marvel universe. I know they're worried about, the ratings and how much money's been made and all of that. And not everybody's into the storyline as much as they probably would if this wasn't going on with his situation. I think really this court situation is really affecting it more so than anything else. My belief. I could be wrong, but if one of y'all has some more information, I'll be more than glad to listen and be enlightened about it. Go ahead, Jay. Mike.
So yeah, because I'm in the space. I'm a film critic, and this is definitely people. This case is not unlike the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation because this court case is not public. No one in the actually jury did not being televised or anything like that, right? However, there are people inside that are actually reporting as it goes. And today, as of today, there was a whole lot of things they just dropped. Not just with that video, they released audio. Conversation of the whole him telling the girl to be like Obama and Michelle Obama and I forgot what the other girl name, but basically a black woman figurehead wife, you know, I'm asking that on a white woman. But anyway, and there's also text message as well that's revealed today from the case. Basically, now not saying there's a form of abuse, but definitely there's a lot of like Majors was going through some issues, like with this, you know, relationship. Just no if and buts about it, and that's the point where his defense where. They didn't want this to be publicized from the evidence or everything, not because they didn't think the case wasn't even proven that he didn't do anything, but just because some of the evidence was going to put him in the bad light, as you see, right? And it's unfortunate again because I mean, I understand this. Like, you know, we're all men, you know, be men of integrity. We have seasons of being a bad character, you know, been immature, whatever. Just because, hey, I might have been a bad boyfriend before doesn't mean I'm going to jail and beating on folks or I should lose my freaking career, you know? Like, there's a line of that there where it's like, oh, you know, relationships happen. Relationships are hard. And that doesn't mean someone should lose their freaking career over that. But again, now with this, you have the court in terms of going on the judicial system, but also you have the court of public opinion, which is the thing in terms of show business. Somehow has that have more higher power than just the law itself. Because you know people get accused for everything. It doesn't matter what you did or not do, what people believe, the public perception, right? And what I saw in the shade room post of that video, again, black women. You know, some people say, you know, screw Majors. You know, you dipped in the skim milk, and therefore I ain't messing. You know, we ain't messing with Majors. However, I looked through the entire comment section, and everybody, including black women, are all saying they're basically taking on his side, saying, "Listen, we spent this whole time ruining his reputation. Now you clearly see this dude was running from this woman, and regardless of other, you can say, and then you see in that post that Hank just showed, when you slide it, you also see the pictures of her injuries or alleged injuries. She's small as a toothpick. Like you can tell definitely little marks, whatever, you know, just if I just really apply a little bit of pressure, you can see like it'll be bruising. But in that tussle you saw when he was leaving that car, now people were alleging saying that whether he took her phone or she was trying to take his phone because he was texting some other girl, whatever, that's why he was running away, whatever. But regardless of that, in any type of toxic situation, you wouldn't be chasing someone like that across street, you know, multiple blocks, and this person is beating your ass. No way. So
No, I wouldn't think so either, Jedi. I mean, it's kind of crazy to even try to put off like you're going to give that as your reasons. You know what I'm saying? I'm running down to get my ass whooped. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That sounds logical to me. I'm running down to him so he can whoop my ass some more because I didn't have enough the first time. You know, the first smack around or shake it up. I needed to get some more of my ass whooped. That makes no sense.
Yeah,
but you have some people, you know, they really believe that.
Yes.
They will really believe that, and that's the sad part. So, you know, I don't know.
I hope everything works out for the brother. But he played an awesome Kane. But Marvel had bigger problems than that.
Bingo.
Marvel had
we definitely going to get into it. I appreciate you with the transition. But go ahead and talk about it, bro. Go ahead and talk about it.
A writing problem. They have a creative problem. They have a writing problem. They suck. The stories, the movies have become very one-dimensional, very cookie cutter. They focus more on diversity and appealing to groups than actually just writing a good story. Should you appeal to groups? Should you have diversity? Yes. But it should be secondary to writing a good story. The good story should be the primary thing because we're telling stories, we're making movies. Then, if diversity fits into that narrative, not forced, fits. It's like a puzzle. You can't be putting, you know, it's like that thing as a kid. You can't be putting the star shape into the circle. You're trying to put the star peg into the circle hole, you just forcing it. So if diversity works for the plot and the narrative, cool, but don't force it. But the primary thing should be good storytelling. And that's where they dropped the ball, especially when they got fully under the Disney umbrella. It been downhill at the Endgame. Mm-hmm. Everything been downhill. All that Black Panther stuff was all that stuff was mid. That last Thor, all those shows, Loki's good. Mm-hmm. I give them that. So they have a writing problem and a creative direction problem. And they really need to just go back to the drawing board and revamp their whole filmmaking process. Because what was done has played out. It ran its course. The formatted movies they make, and they need to. It's one of those times where you should reinvent the wheel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with what you were saying, because with that, regardless of whether this case of majors obviously is making things difficult, especially the troubles they were going through in the year 2021, obviously with the passing of Chadwick, and then had to restructure their whole storyline for Black Panther and Wakanda Forever, and then going into contracts were ending and people have to renew, in terms of, hey, what's the new direction? The three, or at least the three figureheads, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor were in terms of your big three. Now they're, two of them are gone. So what are you going to be doing there? And there was conversations that there's a book that came out called I think the Making of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Is actually a book that was made either from the studio, but with execs from Hollywood, just basically making like a documentary or like a book explaining how the success of Marvel has been. But they basically talked about how that after Endgame, that the three characters are going to be their figurehead.
If you show me a shoe real fast, I appreciate that. Go ahead, Jedi Mike. My bad.
No, you good. That the three characters that are supposed to be their new big three were Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and Spider-Man, right? But obviously, Spider-Man after Endgame, the rights basically had a whole dispute. You guys remember that? Sony had to basically renegotiate their contract. So now that we now got Spider-Man now, and I think at least two more movies, like in terms of within the MCU, before they need to renegotiate. So it was a whole bunch of problems they were having through. But regardless of that, going to what Red Pill was talking about is the writing. Again, you have this character Kang, who you're supposed to be building up to be this new big Thanos, whatever, right? Now with Thanos, with his character arc, we've seen him being teased in multiple different movies, and we really didn't get him delivered until Avengers: Infinity War. But what happened in terms of that, build up, and that they successfully built that he's been a looming threat all this time, right? That even any type of street level or even cosmic level characters, Thanos was there or relatively connected to that storyline whatsoever. Being the background figure in Guardians of the Galaxy, sending Loki, the Tesseract to attack the Avengers in the first Avengers film. And so there were things that, that were obviously connected to a bigger end goal, right? But the problem with Kang the Conqueror is that you're supposed to be telling me that not only that this dude is not only trying to conquer time, but conquer the multiverse. So that means that he have done this. His words, and I quote, "I've killed Avengers before." But here's the problem: we never seen that. We haven't seen you kill Thor, unless you might allude to it talking to Ant-Man. Or you're not the one with the hammer, aren't you? I don't know. I haven't seen you do it. So, so to me as the viewer, you're just talking out of your ass at this point. So, all I have seen is that you just got your ass kicked in the quantum realm and got your ass beaten by some ants, and that's it. But then now I see a version of you in at least two versions of you in Loki, right? Which is a great show, but the problem is that's not translating into the movies. I think about 20% of viewership went down in season 2, regardless whether the show was great or not. And I do believe season 2 of Loki is the best Marvel Disney Plus season we've ever gotten. But the problem is that that's not translating to the movies to where it actually matters, right? And to the point now where not only that you have all these different characters to get introduced, but you have a lot of these threads are not connecting very well at this point. Not until the point of the last 3 years. I understand that we're in the age of like where we want to be impatient, we want to get information so quick, looking at leaked photos and all that stuff, and understand the entire movie before we see the movie come out. But the problem is that we're not following to a thread where we're invested anymore. We're not investing in the character anymore the way we have been, right? And that's not our fault because we're the customers. It's the product that you provide for us to say, hey, listen, you've lacked in quality. This is why I'm not subscribing to you guys anymore. This is why your viewership is going down. This is why the box office, in terms of this whole year, that in terms of Disney specifically, there's not been a single Disney film in 2023 that has crossed $1 billion. Not a single one today, this year. And that is concerning for Disney, which is why they had a town hall meeting recently, a couple of weeks ago, with Bob Iger, as you know, they're going through talking about how they can move forward. And you look at the tabloids, Variety, Deadline. He said, and I quote, "Hey, we need to focus on one, quality over quantity, and also we need to stop focusing on messaging instead of just writing a good story." Right? And the fact that the president of the CEO of Disney is saying this, right? It all just shows you that when we're talking about not just the messaging, but just in terms of direction you're taking with this entire $1 billion franchise, we're not just talking of our ass here. We're not just trolls, on YouTube or on social media, just trying to hate everything. We're literally saying we were invested with you for years, and now you're dropping the ball, and we're calling the bullshit for what it is. So now we're not going to take just a mediocre movie and have a good end credit scene that teases that you're not going to pay off to. There's no more just throwing Avengers movie out there because fuck all of them now. Nobody cares about Black Captain America. Nobody cares about Karen Marvel. Nobody cares about angry female Black Panther. Nobody cares about these characters anymore.
But
So, go ahead. Yeah.
Well,
no, I was just going to say, even the guy.
Let me do this real fast. Shout out to my brother OG Dude Dirty, man. He said salute Hink in the basement. Right on, brother. I appreciate the donation. You didn't have to do it, but you blessed me. So I thank you, sir. Go ahead, brother.
No, I was just going to piggyback and say, even the guy from Tim Allen, they asked him to do another Toy Story that they're thinking of doing, and he basically said the writing better be, a lot better than the recent ones. Like, he basically dissed them on camera.
Yeah, and Jimmy Fallon, this on the show, he said he was interviewed talking about that. Tom Holland said, "Hey, listen, I'm not coming back to do Spider-Man unless it's worthwhile." And because after post Endgame, you could say there's about 3 movies or so that were at least decent, right? I actually like Shang-Chi. I thought it was all right. I wouldn't think it was the best thing ever, but I thought it was all right.
It was all right.
Yeah. Spider-Man, No Way Home. But again, that was Sony, not Marvel, Disney. It was Sony. And then you had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that came out this past year, which was all right. And now, but the problem is that not only with terms of these films, these Disney Plus shows definitely have diluted the brand of Marvel because of the fact of not that we no longer have an anticipation of content because we're basically getting it every other a month or two or so, right? We're getting a What If animated series coming next week, the animated series from Disney Plus. But regardless of that, is the fact that nobody no longer is invested in these characters to the point where I don't have to watch it in the theater anymore on an open weekend because now I have the option to wait a month or two to wait till it get on Disney Plus, and which is another conversation about how streaming is affecting movies and movie industry today. But again, this year, Super Mario, Barbie, and Five Nights at Freddy's showed you it doesn't matter if the movie's going to be on streaming. People want to go see the movie in the theater; they're going to go see it. So yeah, that's
they totally destroyed the whole Star Wars franchise because of that. I mean, like.
Well, let me say this. I'm not gonna just put all this on Marvel because the movie industry is altogether being affected, right? So let's put that out there. We're not gonna just make this is just Marvel having these issues. No,
no.
The movie industry, period, is having this problem because nobody's really putting out some new shit. It's just redo of an old movie or a book or somebody wrote and they just now want to redo it. Most of these movies are out there coming out now. There's really nothing new. So that's part of the problem. Again, I agree with you. I remember taking off on Fridays from work to go, and I would go like usually about the 11:30 show, go with the old folks where I know the elders are there watching the movie, and I ain't got to worry about a lot of kids there and disturbing me. I'm going to go to the top row with my White Castles. I'm telling myself now, goddamn. I stick White Castles in. I'm up there eating my White Castle, drinking, sipping on the Big Red, watching the movies, whatever latest Marvel movie that came out. That's what I'm doing. I knew it's gonna come out. Usually around Derby time for us. I knew I was gonna get another Marvel movie. I'm taking that Friday off and I'm chilling. I'm watching. I can't wait. Now it's just like the hell with it. I wait till it come out to my bootleg app and I'll watch it then. It's crazy that it's got to that point, but it's just where it is. It's just where it is for me. So, like I said, I still watch them. I'm eventually. I haven't seen the Marvels yet, but I'm going to watch it.
What do you guys think about My
Go
bad,
ahead.
Hank.
No, you good.
No,
Go
have
ahead.
any of you guys? This is not Marvel. This is DC.
Okay,
But did any of you guys see what was that, Hank?
I said, go ahead. Let's talk about it. We don't want to leave DC out because DC is a
Oh,
very.
okay. No, I was gonna say, what did you guys think about the Black Adam? Because I thought that was a good movie.
I like Black Adam. I thought it was good. I was entertained by it. Um, I think Rock did a good job.
It was too little, too late. That was the
Dwayne.
problem.
Thank you.
You
What
said
Thank
what
you.
did you guys say? It was what?
But it was too little, too late. That cinematic universe was already sliding down the pooper. They fumbled that. They fumbled the whole process trying to play a catch-up game with Marvel. They should have made individual Justice League character movies first before they dropped the Justice League movie because we didn't know the characters. But they rushed
True.
into the Justice League movie and it was mid as hell. And if you go look on Wikipedia at the profit for these DC movies, they've been having flop after flop.
Yeah.
They've been hemorrhaging money over there in all they blockbuster hits. Only every now and then one to pop in and do okay, like the second Suicide Squad movie.
But what
Right.
about the actual movie itself? What did you
Let
think
me.
about it?
So with the actual movie itself, this is the point where I said it was too little, too late.
Hawkman was better than Black Adam.
Is that so? Yeah.
Say it
So
again. Say it again, Red Pill. What'd you say?
Hawkman was a better part of the movie than Black Adam. I got excited when I saw Hawkman more than Black Adam.
yeah, yeah, because there were definitely elements in the movie that I liked. Now here's the thing. Now Rock, right? Because this is also behind the scenes thing that I have to explain this to you. That this was over. This film was greenlit back in 2008. Right.
What?
Yes, it took them almost like 17, 18 years for them to actually make this movie because again, they had The Rock saying they wanted to make a movie with him or be the villain. But here's the thing: slowly it became to okay, I don't want to be the Shazam villain. I want him to have my own movie, right? So therefore, they want to give him his own movie, but it kept getting delayed because they're slowly trying to build out this whole DC universe at the time. Then, but the problem was that when The Rock, when he came, he had his production, his production studio, I think $7 production, who do all of his movies. They're getting involved and stuff, and he wanted to make this character bigger than what it actually is. Let's be for real. Black Adam is not a big character. He'd be a cool character, but he's not a popular character with people's rushing to go see him. But the thing is that what you're seeing now is that I think in the rise around I want to say 2008 or so, not 2008, 2018, that we're slowly seeing them people making content of having villain-based solo storylines of shows and movies like a Venom, like a Todd Phillips Joker, and all that stuff. And which obviously the first Venom made $800 million. Todd Phillips Joker made about $1 billion or so, but it was very successful. But the issue with Black Adam is that you associate Black Adam with Shazam. Shazam was already having its franchise with those two movies, even though they weren't, type of mediocre or mid, whatever, right? But the thing is, what he always wanted, he wanted to structure the entire DC universe around this character, Black Adam, right? Which I know you can be a fan of Black Adam, but that's not the character you're going to do to center your entire DC universe because he wanted to use Superman as the catalyst for him to be more of an important character because he wanted to see Superman and Black Adam go together, which is why you saw them teasing Henry Cavill at the end. Even in the movie Super Pets, the animated movie, the Hero Pets, and there was a Black Adam cameo at the end, and that was because The Rock voiced Crypto, the Superdog, and stuff, right? So he was teasing Superman and Black Adam together. But here's the problem behind the scenes. While they were developing this film, James Gunn took over, right? They're structuring. It left the previous head of DC, Walter Amada, and then they went on and tried to move a direction with James Gunn. So he was slowly pivoting the entire direction of these remaining three films, which was Black Adam, The Flash, and then in a couple of weeks, Aquaman, which will be the end of this old slate of DC, right? Because those films are already in production, were already made prior to when James Gunn was attached to this. So when Black Adam came out, all of a sudden, well, not only the perception of the movie was all right, it wasn't saying it was a horrible movie, but the thing was that, okay, you have Superman being announced, and all of a sudden, 2 or 3 weeks later, all of a sudden, James Gunn and Henry Cavill made a statement. Oh yeah, I'm no longer continuing the character because we want to go a different direction, right? That went down the hill, but also Rock was in controversy with the Shazam actor Zachary Levi, because Zachary Levi wanted to have Superman in his movie, right? Because Shazam was always a Superman fan in the comics, right? He's a kid, right? And they teased Superman at the end of the movie, but there was a contract issue why Henry Cavill wasn't being Superman in these movies. So it was always a question in the media, like, hey, is Henry Cavill coming back? We don't know, right? So when Black Adam came out, not only did the film did mid, is also the issue I had with this film was his performance. Black Adam has to be a sinister character first. He didn't have the Vulcan ears. He didn't have a sense of him trying to be somewhat sinister or conniving as a way of him trying to attack, Shazam. But him as a character, he was just being very stoic and just being the Rock. That wasn't Black Adam we saw. That was the Rock in a Black Adam suit, right? And I understand you might be fan favor of the character, but you have to understand the character that you're doing and not saying, I see the Rock, I don't see Black Adam. And that was the issue. You also had the Justice Society, which was wrapped around in this film, but still you had Hawkman, Atom Smasher, Dr. Fate, which is a fan favorite of mine. And they add him into this movie, but again, they're structuring it this way as this is like another continuation of the current established DC universe. But you have to understand, there's already a Justice League movie. Why we have the Justice Society in that movie? Already got a freaking mansion by Hawkman, already in cahoots with Amanda Waller, and basically acting more as the Justice League than the Justice League themselves, right? And so they're already a efficient team. They got their own jet and everything, but yet where's the Justice League at, right? So that's where it was kind of confusing, where people were like, okay, we're just seeing these other characters now, and now how this happened, okay, whatever. So that's what the issue was going on with Black Adam, where it's just like it went down the drain, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wanted this film to be more than what it should have been. It first should have been a good movie. That's what should have been as your first template. Not trying to build a whole entire universe, around this one side who's a side character villain. It's like trying to center your character around a Harvey Dent Two-Face. You can't do that.
Black Adam was a victim of The Rock's ego.
Yes.
That film was a victim of The Rock's ego. The Rock notoriously has some industry, and he wanted to come over and take over the DC universe, and he wanted to do too much. You shouldn't even be trying to tie in with Superman before you tie in with Shazam. Shazam is connected closer to Black Adam than Superman by far. If anybody was going to cameo at the end of that movie, it should have been Shazam. Black Adam wasn't mentioned in the second Shazam movie. The movie's barely connected. How can Black Adam come into modern days and Shazam not notice that force of magic entering the universe? He is magic. He's the wizard Shazam. I mean, he's in the rock, the little rock or whatever. There's no way gonna be a magic outburst where somebody with similar powers like him appearing and he not noticed.
Exactly.
So there's no reason Shazam should have reacted to Black Adam's arrival. It just none of it made sense.
Yeah.
I felt.
Well, Wally, what do you got, brother? Go ahead, because I know.
Yeah, what's going on? Thank you for letting me come through. But so my overall thoughts of Black Adam is, I mean, if you love action, it was a good movie for action. That's why
True.
it was a good movie for action. But as far as now, we talking about, let's reflect on comics. You sank that down in the dirt real bad. But my thing is, I'll say this, because hearing all you guys say what y'all saying about it, because my obvious thing was when they did the Justice Society, I automatically thought, okay, yeah, so Justice League, Justice Society, similar but different, right? So of course I automatically think different universe, different timeline, all that in a box of candy. Let's just get that out the way. So you already know this is moving differently and everything else. So just the fact that they had Just Society and they're already missing a bunch of key pieces of heroes in that mix, it already lets you know like this already is like you hyper jump this storyline beyond all things. Because to sit here and say, oh, okay, well, we just have Hawkman, we just had this character, that character, and everything else. It's like, well, what happens to all the other characters? Where are they at? You never could hear no stories of that. And then now, as far as because when y'all was piecing together, like, okay, when Black Adam came to the world, and it's like, well, why didn't Zach Levine's character, sense his presence being in again? I believe different universes, because apparently that's the only obvious answer to it all. They weren't in the same universe, so it wouldn't add up anyways for them to even meet up anyways. Whatsoever, it just wasn't gonna happen. And you can tell because the villain that was in Zach Levine's freaking movie wasn't the villain you was expecting the first time around, give or take. So
yeah. This should have been the movie right here. This should have been the first Shazam movie, is have Black Adam be the villain and have Superman being the side supporting character, just like Hulk was a supporting character in Thor Ragnarok. Because then you would have had this entire animated movie, which is another conversation, which I feel DC does a better job of animation than Marvel. But in terms of this film, this should have been your cookie cutter film for having all three of these characters together and actually make sense. You overcomplicated because of ego and lack of terms of understanding the comics in terms of, hey, we can actually have these characters together. Why are we having Black Adam fighting Hawkman and Dr. Fate and everything? That makes no sense. Having him fight Superman, that makes sense. But if Shazam's there, that makes perfect sense. Because one, you would show that, okay, he in terms of physical superior or equivalent to Superman, but Superman can't combat with magic. So that's where Shazam comes in. Because Shazam is just a carbon copy somewhat of Superman, but just as a different type of character. The fact that he is 10 years old, right? But again, that having all three of these characters together in this film would have been perfect. But yeah, you overcomplicated it. You wasted way more money trying to make different movies and also having these characters unrelated to each other, even though in the comics they're tied. It's like you having Joker in a Flash movie, but not have him in a Batman movie. That makes no sense. The Black Adam is the Joker to the Shazam's Batman. Yeah. And then eventually he will evolve to become an anti-hero. But you just don't jump a point in a character's journey to when he gets to that. Right, there's a reason why we have Winter Soldier be Winter Soldier and Captain America Winter Soldier and killing folks. All right, then we see him teaming up with him in Avengers: Infinity War because there was an arc. There was an arc. So when you skip that, you therefore just basically erase everything and the morals that character stands on, and that's all we're talking about.
So let me. There was a couple statements and then a question. Bless you, brother. Recycling old washed characters and change the entire storyline to make it relevant. I like the characters. I don't know if maybe he's meaning the actors that are washed. I don't know.
Let's see. Recycling. I think he's mentioning the comment that y'all made before, like, oh, they keep bringing back old movies and then recycling them as the newer movies.
Okay.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what he's talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And another question that was on the Facebook was, what do y'all think about hearing about the new Blade video game coming out?
Yeah,
I just seen the clip today, and it looks good. It looks good. Looks very interesting. I'm not into video games, but it does look good to me. So
yeah.
What are y'all thoughts on it?
I have to see gameplay first. Because gameplay can make or break a game. They can make a game look really good these days because they got the tech. But gameplay is crucial. And like I said, I'm 45, been gaming a long time since the 80s. And superhero games are hit or miss, even in this day and age. You can get you Arkham, or you can get you one of them terrible Superman games that were made. You can get you a Spider-Man, or you can get
The Avengers. The Avengers.
that Avengers game that came out. You know, so superhero games can be hit or miss, especially when it's action adventure type games. Now they can do better with fighting games, maybe, but when it's like roaming kind of action adventure games,
RPGs.
RPG kind, it's very, very hit or miss.
Yeah, I mean, now I haven't seen none of the the overall showing of it, but I will say this though. I mean, depending on how they produce and perform a storyline, because I believe that's what they're gonna do with this. And thinking about Blade's weaponry, I believe it would be a good one.
I think great a character that they make a game because you can basically make it in a Resident Evil type environment, and Resident Evil games been killing it for years. But the problem is also is that when games make an announcement, it's about maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years away from actually being released, right? And surprisingly, this game will probably even come out before the Blade movie comes out at this point. Because Blade has been announced since 2019 and it's been in production hell, and it's still, as right now, it's slated at 2025 that we're gonna get the Blade movie. But even then, at this point, I'm still having some concerns whether we ever even get to this movie, or even this movie will ever be made, because it's been ridiculous at this point. So yeah,
Thought it was
the
a TV
Blade movie
series.
having tons of problems?
yes. So another behind the scene tip for y'all. Blade. So back in 2019, after Endgame came out, the big success it was been and everything. Pre-pandemic, Marvel announced their new Phase 4 and plans and all that stuff, right? So we're announcing, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, Hawkeye series, and WandaVision, and all these other the new phase of Marvel, right? Before the pandemic hit, right? All of a sudden, the last announcement they had was they brought Mahershala Ali, 2-time Academy Award-winning actor, brought him in. All of a sudden, he put a hat on and it said Blade. Then you see the big screen turn on, it says logo Blade. So Blade, no release date's been confirmed, but they're making a Blade movie, right? Now, what was it? 2020 happened. COVID happened, right? 2021, okay, happened, all right? Marvel's coming back, bringing their Disney Plus shows and slowly with their movies, right? 2022 happened, nothing happened. 2023, nothing happened. Here we go in 2024. Has lost almost about, I think, 2 directors, at least 3 writers. They left that movie, and then in the recent Variety article that came out about Marvel, that came out, I think about was November. It's the week right before the Marvels came out. Variety did this whole piece on Marvel. They basically revealed that originally Mahershala Ali was going to lead the project because he didn't like the story that was being provided to him. Initially, the story was going to be that Blade was going to be not a first, not a second, but a third or fourth side character in his own movie, and was gonna do originally was focus on a set of female characters and Blade being a side character in his own movie. This is reported from Variety.
It's gonna be a
because they wanted to make it a female leads because they want these female superheroes. So, and he wasn't having it.
Oh Lord, yeah, scrap that mess. Oh Lord.
But now listen, there's things in the comics they could have done. They can have Blade's daughter in there and all that stuff.
Well, that would have been the obvious one.
But then again, you making him a secondary or third character in his own film. Mahershala Ali, 2-time Academy Award-winning actor, I think he's about to be in his 50s. This dude ain't getting older. He ain't getting younger, man. And now we're gonna have a Blade movie in 2025 when he was announced almost 4 years ago. The nerve. No.
I just watched the trailer for the game. I can't tell nothing about it. I hope they don't make it a first-person shooter. Like I said, I gotta see the gameplay because I couldn't play Blade as a first-person shooter. Because Blade do use a lot of guns, and a lot of first-person shooters you have melee attacks, so that's why he can use his swords and stuff. And they love these FPS these days. And I couldn't handle Blade as a first-person shooter. Needs to be third person.
Because my thing is right now, as I'm thinking, the only way I see female character in Blade is that you know that female character that was in, if I'm not mistaken, the third movie, the Trinity movie.
Yep.
And then they were to do a storyline based on her. That's the only other way that would happen for me in my mind.
Or some of the vampires. Usually they got female lead vampires, like some henchmen.
See that's overstretching. That's overstretching. I'm sorry.
Is it just me or did Blade have the weakest vampires in all vampire movies? I'm just gonna say,
nah, bro. The Stephen Dorff vampire.
Look,
nah. Stephen Dorff's vampire
the Trinity was hardly
dope.
set up. I'm sorry.
Think about it. Twilight vampires were stronger than Blade vampires. Blade beat those vampires up like they were regular humans. They never hardly showed any super strength feats, except for the guy he'll fight at the end. The rest of those vampires, Blade can beat like 10 of them at once. I know he was half vampire too, but those vampires barely showed any superhuman abilities. They were soft.
I can't believe you said that, man.
Twilight.
I'm sorry, but that's the truth, though. That's really the truth.
No, it's not. Man.
Yes, it is. No, let's be real here. You go back and watch the movies again, side by side. It's night and day. It's ridiculous, actually.
It's like, matter of fact, Hannibal and that girl were normal humans, and they was beating the brakes off those vampires. There's no way a normal human, no matter how well trained you are, should be able to beat the brakes off vampires. That shows how weak they were. A normal human,
you know what?
A normal
Another
human
good
could beat
one
a Twilight vampire.
A
normal human could not beat up a Twilight vampire at all.
The movie with the lichens. That's another one, bro. That's another one. The movie with the lichens. I forgot what it was.
Underworld.
Oh, yeah, Underworld.
Yeah.
You know what's an underrated one? Like humans. An underrated one that I think is DC low key. I wasn't much into the comics, but yo, they should have done a whole series with it, and they fucked it up. But the Constantine, that was a good one.
They finna make a new one.
They do Constantine.
They finna do a new one.
They are. Cool.
Yeah, so they always had it. Okay, so Constantine, that's been through like all over the place because they wanted to either make a Constantine movie or they wanted to make a Justice League Dark movie with Constantine being the lead. Now, Justice League Dark, for people who don't know, is basically like the Justice League, but it's more magical, dark-based characters like Satana, Swamp Thing, Etrigan. Like those type of characters, the more darker mythical characters in DC, and it's called Justice League Dark. There's a movie.
That comic series was dope as fuck.
Yeah,
the whole Justice League Dark, bro. And I had action figures, bro.
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do because we are getting a Swamp Thing movie. You know, James Gunn announced that we're getting a Swamp Thing movie. So down the road, if they want to, obviously they're going down the direction of mystical. I don't see why Constantine will not play a factor into that at all. So definitely, but you just gotta wait a little bit longer when they actually establish that. But yeah,
okay. Better if they do a movie because I remember when they were trying to do the Swamp Thing television show. Boy, that thing sank bad.
There was good parts of it. There was good parts.
There was good parts. They just couldn't fulfill it though. That's the problem.
If you rewatch it, like are you guys talking about the Swamp Thing show that was like in the 80s or 90s?
No.
I mean, honestly, bro, the latest one. Okay, yeah, because there was one back in the day that wasn't bad, and the original Flash wasn't bad either. The Flash that was like on UPN or some shit.
I like that with the big muscle suit.
You mean the John Wesley shit?
That shit was dope. What?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
The classics always get this one.
The John Wesley ship Flash, the one that he came back and played his dad in the CW show.
Yeah.
He was fighting Polaris. You know, not Polaris. Pullix, whatever his name. The blue one. Yeah.
Yep.
And, with the muscle suit. But yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. Well, before I do that, I gotta make sure I announce my action figures is all centered around this theme of Marvel and DC, and so I have behind me Superman, Batman, the Joker, Thanos, Iron Man, and Captain America. Now, the reason I picked those guys, those are some of my favorite DC characters, right? But I teased my show on Monday, my sports show on Monday. For those who didn't get to see it, check it out. You might enjoy it. Monday I tease you. Who is my favorite villain? I'm talking about both worlds. So to me, my favorite villain is the Joker. He will be my all-time favorite. Doesn't matter. My favorite villain. I don't care what world you put it in. He's my favorite villain.
Facts.
My favorite superhero. Well, I don't have him up there. Shame on me for not even having him up there. And that's Wolverine. He's my favorite. Between him and the Hulk are my two favorite superheroes.
Wow.
So I want to ask you guys this: who's your favorite villain?
Oh, here we go.
And who's your favorite superhero?
Nice.
That's tough, as always.
Yeah, I'll go with favorite villain, obviously the Joker. Shout out to Christopher Nolan and Heath Ledger night with that. Shout out to Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix, what they're doing now. They got the sequel Joker film that's coming out later next year, next October, with Lady Gaga playing their version of Harley Quinn in there. So, which would be interesting. But that character definitely represents not only in terms of balance of being sane and insanity, whatever, but also the balance between peace and chaos, and also the line of saying some men don't want to are not seeking purpose or higher calling. Some people just want to watch the world burn, right? And the fact that this character is used as a template, a lot of villains throughout the course of not just DC but also Marvel as well. The fact that his origin is still very iconic, but also it's left to the viewer's explanation because the character himself doesn't know his own origin, which is also fascinating about it. Every time he tells it, it's always a different story. I encourage people to read The Killing Joke as well. Very good story. But going on to the heroes, the number one for me has always been Spider-Man. Always have been, probably always will be. Because again, represents the common man, basically having extraordinary abilities, but also dealing with real world problems. Because yes, he is smart, but at the same time, he's not rich. He has definitely he has tragedy in his life. There's things just as a human based story with this fantastical character, but when he puts the costume on, then he can be very funny, confident in who he is. And to me, the storylines that this character has gone through the course of almost 40, 50 years almost, to me is felt is the most relatable. And now that just when you're thinking that as Spider-Man as Peter Parker, we've probably already seen so many storylines with Peter Parker, and just in these recent years, you see that storylines are expanding with Miles Morales, the Spider Verse, Spider Gwen as well, Spider-Man 2099. That this character definitely is bleeding with different iterations and different types of forms of storytelling, which makes it more fascinating. And you don't see multiple versions of Iron Man or multiple versions of Captain America. But with Spider-Man, you're seeing this as like he is a icon that many characters can put on that mask and be something. And to me, I felt was most relatable since I've been growing up as when I was young. So, yeah.
My favorite villain is Doctor Doom. No one messes with Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom was second in line. He could have been the Sorcerer Supreme. That's how adept he is with magic. He's one of the smartest people in the Marvel Universe. So he's got magic almost good as Doctor Strange, intelligence equal, if not almost good as Tony Stark and Reed Richards. And he got a set of armor that matches Iron Man armor, if not better. So he got magical abilities, plus science abilities, and intellect. He has his own country, and he's cold, he's ruthless. He loves his people, and his people love him, and he won't let nobody mess with that country. And Doctor Doom is just a stone cold G. Like nobody never really beats Doom. Doom defeats himself. Doom's biggest enemy is his arrogance. That's why it is. Other than that, people from gods to superpower humans, they shake when they see Doom on the scene. They don't even know if it's him or a Doombot sometimes. They can't even tell. Dr. Doom is one of those guys where he can take out, he'll fight Spider-Man and he'll fight Silver Surfer. Doom will challenge Galactus. Matter of fact, it been times where he's absorbed Silver Surfer powers, tried to absorb Galactus powers, the cosmic energy, things of that nature. Doom thinks above and beyond any villain. He got the power with the power and the intellect. Doom all day. Like if any villain was real, I wouldn't want it to be Doom. Only good thing about Doom is kind of that he's chilling in his own little country a lot. Favorite hero, Nova. I know he's a B-lister, but Nova the Human Rocket. I like it for the same reason Mike said he likes Spider-Man. I just think Nova has way cooler powers and the cooler costume. Yes, Spider-Man is more popular, but Nova was written as a young character. He's got his powers relatively young. He's very relatable. Of course, he grew up through the years, especially now that he has the full Nova Force. He's Nova Prime, and he got all the cool powers and shit. His new costume was awesome, by the way. But yeah, Richard Rider Nova, not the Sam Alexander. Richard Rider Nova. It's my favorite character. His power set is pretty awesome too.
Right on. What you got, Wal?
Man. Okay, so see, I'm gonna have to do like a split because like I'm gonna have to do one for Marvel, one for DC because that's way too much. But if I had to go DC, the best villain, in my opinion, Sinister, hands down. Sinister, the best villain, hands down, in my belief, Marvel.
Wait, hold on. You said what?
Okay.
Sinister.
Yeah.
Sinister.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I said DC. That's why I was like, hold up.
No, I said Marvel. I meant some Marvel. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
is why we know our shit. Don't play with it.
Yeah. But look, Sinister Handways down. Like his background story from the time frames that you've seen, especially in that crazy good filler of when they did a time travel of just the history of how that came to be or how he came to be in the mix. Yeah, he's been a big time secret villain deep in the crux of X-Men, and just his involvement alone, especially like constantly changing everyday human beings into mutants, that in itself is like heavenly, like trump cards, anything like any other villain would probably do, especially since he's a scientist. Now if I would say hero, now see, I know I can't technically mention this character because he was technically a filler hero, but I have to because he's just my favorite guy, Spike. If you don't know, he was on X-Men Evolutions. He was a little side piece character that was trying to, understand his powers and build himself up. But I guess during the time where they try to mutate the mutants with this drink, they sort of jacked up his powers to where it started to adjust way more faster than what he can understandably control. And he was sort of being that leader of the underground or outcast mutants. So I really would want to see like how that looked like in the future sense of him growing up. And because I think his powers and abilities and what he was looking like as you saw him later in that type of TV series was looking like beast mode. And I was like, bro.
X-Men Evolution was a dope series, underrated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. As far as DC, best villain, DC. Exactly. Yeah, you can't trump card that. Best villain in DC. Oh man, I would have to say Lex Luthor. I'll say Lex Luthor for sure is a good villain, in my opinion, because he's gonna be a thorn in literally the Justice League side throughout the whole thing. Another one, as far as hero wise, for me, Batman. For the simple fact that out of everybody else in DC, there's some things that Batman does that is just better than the rest, even without powers. Like I know the way they write it, you can say pick and choose, but for the things that he was able to do in certain things, especially when it comes to him fighting Darkseid with just fists, bro. I'll leave it right there.
Okay, you got to just suddenly stop.
Yeah,
my man.
I'll be right
I
there.
got you. Mo, what you got, brother?
I'm gonna split it up too, and I'm gonna go DC and Marvel. Growing up, I was probably a bigger Marvel fan. I don't know if you guys remember when the comics turned from matte paper to glossy, and so I'm gonna go with and also the Uncanny X-Men, the show, the animated series. So I'm gonna go with Marvel, and I'm gonna go with Hero, underrated, and unfortunately the movies messed him up. But he has a dope backstory,
Thanos.
and I mean he got magical powers, let's say, but he's more on a human level, and that's Gambit.
Yeah.
Gambit does not get as much credit as he should, and he has one of the dopest stories. And if I could do side by side, I'm gonna do Gambit and Jubilee because I also really like Jubilee's powers, and she's another underrated one. And then for villains, my favorite villain in the Marvel universe is actually Magneto, and I think Magneto is incredibly underrated. But technically, I think he actually has one of the best powers. Like Professor X has a great power that can go throughout every spectrum, but Magneto has a great power that can go through every spectrum because almost everything has metals in it, really except plastic. So it's like Magneto can do a lot more things than people think, and Magneto, like, he's a genius just like Professor X. He's charismatic. There's a lot of qualities to him that basically are very personable. And if people don't know, Magneto and Professor X is Martin Luther King Jr. And Malcolm X.
Yeah.
If people don't know, that was kind of the story behind the story. But so for me, it's going to be that in the Marvel universe, and for the DC universe, I always Batman, that's the hero for me, and that's the everyday. He got no superpowers, but he's just the man. And Bruce Wayne is also the man. So it's like, okay, growing up, every dude you kind of want to be like Batman, especially when you first see that Batman movie, the first one with Jack Nicholson. Like you're like, damn, like this dude can do anything. And then for villains in the DC universe, to be honest, like I'm gonna say for superpower wise, I'm actually gonna go with somebody who I think they butchered in the movies, which was actually a movie that got butchered in general, which could have been good, which was what Batman Returns. But Mr. Freeze, he's got a dope story, and Mr. Freeze is also a genius and has superpowers that are kind of underrated. And in the comic books, Mr. Freeze puts up like a lot more fight to Batman than they did in that fucking horrible movie with what was the name of Chris? What was the actor who played Robin?
Is with Arnold Schwarzenegger is a Batman Robin, which
Chris
that
Yeah,
Evans.
Batman Robin.
Yeah, I
film
think that
film
was
killed a genre. Remember, there was a lot of Batman and Superman movies around at that time. That film destroyed a genre until Blade came out.
Facts. And it's unfortunate because all those characters, even the Riddler, I mean, like Jim Carrey's Riddler could have been a lot better. But in general, that's another character that has been all throughout. Like honestly, the Riddler and Joker have a lot in common. But like Riddler is pretty dope as fuck too, and he's never really mentioned in the whole universe. It's always the Joker.
Do you know why?
And
Do, do,
no,
do you know why that the last two Batman films, Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, why it turned out the way they did? Is one answer and one person. It's called Joe Schumacher, right?
oh wow, okay,
Joel Schumacher went in. He took the project after Tim Burton basically was done with Batman Returns. And now, if you guys don't remember, Batman Returns actually got a lot of negative reception because people thought, found it to be too dark, especially when it involved like Catwoman at least being a little more provocative, and also Penguin, just sort of the body, dysphoria and horror and everything, they felt it was probably too scary for for kids. So they want to make it more lighthearted, which is why in Batman Forever you got more of these jokey characters with
It was totally the opposite of Batman Returns.
right.
Yeah, no, Batman. I made a mistake. I meant to say Batman and Robin was whack. Batman Returns was dope, and that Catwoman character, I ain't gonna front. What that was Michelle Pfeiffer, right?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah,
Right.
I actually
It's
like
like
that.
years later, like, and obviously years later, the industry has changed. Now you look at those two films, we think those are classics, but as an industry level at that time, they literally like, no, we didn't make these for kids, and we make these for no, make these for kids and stuff, which is why when Batman and Robin came out, you look at the behind the scene features. You can find this on YouTube. Literally, he said that, hey, we need to get this movie out because we need to make these toys real quick. So they literally made toys, right? But you have to understand in the industry, even today, toys don't drive movie ticket sales. Movie ticket sales drive toy sales. And because if you have a good movie, why my kid want to buy this damn toy? Is why I want to get that damn Happy Meal with Batman on it and stuff like that. And because the movie is what sells those toys, not the toys selling the movie, which is why that film was a disaster. But
So wait, they made. I was just gonna ask you. So they made it extra cartoony for the reason to sell the toys?
yes.
Wow.
Now that was what Batman and Robin. Now Batman Forever, however, there is another cut, the Joel Schumacher cut of that film, which is a more serious iteration of that film, especially with the I was saying not George Clooney, what was it? Val Kilmer, Batman. That there was a whole different arc of him, with this character. It was a lot more serious movie, but that cut got scrapped, and they got this edited version that you see. Even when involved with Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, it was completely different in terms of iteration they had. Because remember, it was actually Billy D. Williams who was supposed to be Harvey Dent.
Yep. The Two-Face was the only good character they had in that movie, as far as seriousness.
Right. So that's what happened behind the scenes with that particular film. Because of Batman Returns is why Batman Forever turned out the way it did, and because of toys is why Batman Robin turned out the way that it did. So, but yeah, I get it all to this, man, because it's really like, what happened to this movie? Like as a kid, I'm like, why is the movie so bad? And then you watch the behind the scene features and stuff, and they basically tell on themselves, oh yeah, we have to sell these toys, man. I was like, okay, get you, yeah.
What's going on, Marcus? What's happening, brother? Then are you good?
What's good? How's everybody doing? Happy holidays. L'chaim, happy Kwanzaa if you are in the J region or J genre. Shalom. God bless. If you're Christian, whatever. But yeah, I'm just tired of this bullshit. All right, I'm tired of this bullshit that DC and Marvel keep giving out. I'm fed up with this bullshit. I'm just tired of it because we've been patient long enough. I've been resting in my masculinity long enough. All right. I've been basking in it. I've been waving in it. I got a whiff of it. I've laid an egg. You know what I'm saying? I've done the seeds for it. But I think this is it's due diligence. All right. I've tried to practice discernment. I walked the right way. I pay for the ticket. I've gone and get a streaming service. I've been out down the line. I had to buy some dumbass, expensive ass popcorn for the big ass soda for no damn reason. I'm tired of it. And for what? Walmart $5 bin quality movies? Is that what we're doing? Matinee? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing?
I'm actually excited about what DC got coming down the pipeline. Marvel has no excitement in my heart right now. Nothing Marvel has coming out from now to whenever they can talk about eternity got me hyped. I'm excited to see what James Gunn got going on over there. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do with this Superman. I love the casting for the Superman and the Lois. I love the casting for Lex. I love the casting for Jimmy. I love the casting for all the side characters. I'm looking forward to see what he do with Batman. The guy took a team like Guardians of the Galaxy, which that Guardians of the Galaxy team is the best known in the weakest Guardians of the Galaxy team. So, but he took them and made them a hit. he took that Suicide Squad 2 and turned it into something. The Suicide Squad 1 was a hot mess. James Gunn he can work magic. And I'm excited to see this new DC.
Yeah.
What'd you think of James Gunn's Suicide Squad?
It was good.
It was good.
The way he handled Peacemaker and Bloodsport and just the whole
Polka Dots, disturbing trauma with his mother. Perfect.
in the Peacemaker show. Award-winning.
It is the highest rated
Award-winning
DC.
good.
Is the highest rated DCEU property, like in terms of show and movie, is the highest rated on Rotten Tomatoes. But no, you're absolutely right. The turntables are about to turn. And I'm just like sitting patiently. Like, you've seen the casting. James Gunn is being smart on social media because, all the Snyder loyalists and everything, he ain't responding to everybody. And even the actors not responding, not getting no trouble. They're like, no, we're just building. You see that David Cornsweet, he's building, he's bulking up. Same thing with the actor who's playing Miss Terrific and everything. Listen, they're just building, they're just going with the process right now. And when they get it next Comic-Con, I best believe we're at least going to get the first trailer.
I'm still iffy on David Cornsweet to see how he does with the material he gets too. See how
he looks so much like Henry, though. He looks so much like Henry. It's ridiculous. It's kind of creepy, actually. How much they look alike.
Let me say this. Peacemaker. I didn't even watch it.
Oh,
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't been interested in watching, but now maybe y'all talking about it. Maybe I will go and partake in
amazing, it. No cap.
Because it kind of threw me off of John Cena. And then I seen some goddamn Pampers. Man, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing?
Yeah, you got a dip in to figure out.
I'm a definitely partake in it. But with that being said, man, look, DC has the opportunity of really coming up. They really do, because Marvel's, like I said, they've taken a serious hit right now with what they're trying to do. And this is the time I think DC really needs to take advantage of the opportunity. Now, if they don't, it's going to be. I don't think they're going to. If they don't take advantage of now these next few films that they got supposed to be coming through, they're not going to. Because right now Marvel is down. Everybody knows whether they want to admit it or not. They need to take advantage of the opportunity.
Well, like everyone's saying, this is the perfect time to, because honestly, let's be honest here. You can, if you have to sit here and say for the past years of movies, just alone movies, because I don't think so anyone's gonna argue what DC's done as far as TVs and animated series, but just along with movies, like yesteryear, we probably can agree that Marvel has been better versus DC in most cases, give or take.
Yeah.
And that, and my whole thing with that is, it's funny how that is, because Marvel has literally, spread themselves thin, because most of their intellectual properties with Disney, most of their intellectual properties with Sony, and then they're left with whatever they got left they can carry.
Yeah, Disney's whack. They're ruining franchises.
Well, yeah, and then on the other hand, then DC, they own themselves. The problem is they can't get themselves together. And so
the tables are turning, because the DC ones are coming out. They're doing their thing. It seems like.
Well, yeah. Well, my thing is, my only hope is, I hope the way that James Gunn does this whole timeline of everything that he's doing, because he's sort of jumping and switching, back traveling with timelines.
Bless you.
I hope he does this perfectly. Because, boy, that's a lot of the axe, boy.
Here's the thing, too, right? Because They had a great. I'm sorry, Hank. Let me just get this out real quick. Let me use my light skin privilege, please. And so, but when the thing about it is, when DC originally had this trajectory of, which I thought, maybe Jedi will agree or disagree with me on this, maybe Red Pill and Wally will, when they had that Justice League War type potential arc that I thought was going to translate to the DC like EU, is that what I want to call it. I thought that was the point they were going to go, and then they messed up with the Flash movie. They messed up with, which was originally, Joss Whedon was going to be the guy that took over after Zack Snyder had to leave the original Justice League when it came in the theaters. and that was a debacle. And then we thought, I was looking more excited and hyped for the DC animated movie universe than I was the actual live action. You had Justice League Dark, you had the one with Assault on Arkham, where it connected Reverse Flash, and you had what's the other project? The Throne of Atlantis. You had a list of Flashpoint Paradox, which started it all. Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. You had all these projects that were great continuity in the animated universe that didn't connect to live action that could have made it potentially one of the greatest, if not at some point probably topping the Marvel universe and MCU, which they missed the ball on that in the original, which hopefully if what they're doing now, because Jason Momoa isn't Aquaman, he's going to be supposedly portraying Lobo. We see how that goes. And then we have Lex Luthor, which is going to be played by the guy, Nicholas Hoult, who played Beast in the younger generation of the X-Men in Days of Future Past and X-Men First Class and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But I want to know who's going to play Darkseid, who's going to voice him. I want to see who's going to be those guys. Who's going to voice Jon Stewart? Who's going to be Jon Stewart? I want to see, the greats. I want to see who plays the new Batman.
I want Keith David to do Darkseid. The black guy that do the voice for in Gargoyles, do the voice for Goliath.
Yeah.
Keith David.
Well, now,
Okay.
we talk about the anime series. Is that what we're talking about? You talk
Live
about Marvel?
action,
Okay. Well, I thought they said. Now I don't know how true this is, but the guy that was in not John Reacher. I think it's called Reacher. I don't forget what he's on the Prime series.
Oh yeah, Reacher.
I think that guy. They said he was supposed to be the new Batman. I don't know how true that is.
Oh, where?
No, John Krasinski. No, that was there's rumors about that, but the casting of the new DC universe Batman is nowhere near some of them are doing it right now.
I don't think he'll do good anyway. He's just so fucking big. He would definitely make an awesome Ultimate Universe Captain America. If they ever do the Ultimate Universe in the Marvel movies, which I think they should go to that Ultimate Universe stuff now, since they're doing all this timeline shit. But he just big as hell to be Batman.
Then that means they should do that red and blue Superman if they're going to all these other universes.
Well, here's the thing. Because we were talking about the conversation about multiverse, right? The DC is nowhere near touching that right now because it needs first established. Can we just have one consistent universe that's good and not diverging into angry Superman? Let's just have a good fucking Superman first before we try to even think about doing Injustice and all that stuff, right? But no, to Marcus's point, again, there's a lot of opportunity that some of these that DC is about to be taking, and with the direction that these Marvel movies are going at, you have to understand going to next year, we only have one Marvel Studios film, which is Deadpool 3, right? We have three Sony Marvel movies, which is Madam Web, which is fucking horrible. You have Kraven the Hunter, which trailer looks good, but I mean, again, it just
I'll watch it.
Then you have Venom 3, which will be the last with that. Yeah, but yeah, those but what really with Deadpool 3. The next three DC projects you have that are slated, the next one you have the Joker sequel, which we know the first one was nominated for Oscar. Like Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor in the first movie. That's the second one's gonna be off the chain. Then you got Matt Reeves, The Batman Part 2, which is the first one was great. Second one's gonna be better and everything. Then you have
Clayface is gonna be in the.
And then you have Superman Legacy. Those three, you have next three projects, which you almost kind of guarantee, except for Superman Legacy, because we haven't seen anything, with James Gunn before.
But follow the comic books.
Right.
But so far, so to that point, right? Because when we're saying the multiverse, because I know that they're still doing the Elseworld projects. Because if I'm not mistaken, that Batman's in the Elseworld projects.
Yes.
So technically, that would be the quote unquote universe type thing. But going to what Marcus was saying about this overall standpoint on the spam of it all, my only thing that makes me sort of cringe just a tad bit when James Gunn talked about the Flash movie was good. I was like, "Are you making this a joke?"
He was paid.
¿Qué pasa?
He was paid to say that. I think, in my opinion, that's my speculation.
Well, this is why I said that was a joke, because I'm sorry, like just for the Flash movie alone, like again, because I know people were like, make like because the way how I took it the first time around, I was like, for what it is, I was okay with it. It wasn't all great, but I was okay with it. But then now when I have to constantly keep thinking about it and thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it. Y'all really, like, come on now. Like, we all know how his mother went down. Like, really, are we gonna get this? Who's the victim? Who stroked it down? No one didn't explain that.
The audience is the victim.
But that's my whole. But this, well, no, not the. I'm not saying that. No, I'm saying who's the perpetrator that did it. But it just found it funny because you're trying to sit here and tell me we're gonna look at this movie consistently, and nowhere in this movie we're ever gonna find out what happened to the mother. It just got struck, and that's it.
They were gonna set it up for a sequel that they're not gonna do, but
that's that bull. And you know why? Because by the time he went back in time, you could have sit there and actually seen what happened.
True.
Which goes into the whole writing part. Like that goes back into the writing part, because that was just entirely janky as janky.
See, I think the frustrating thing is that a lot of us is that we see the easier route to go with a storyline that they're doing, and it's just like, why are you overcomplicating this and changing whatever? That's why, on DC standpoint, a lot of their animated movies are basically templates of what they can do in terms of live action. For example, now I grew up on Justice League Unlimited. If you create a tone or a universe with that, established in terms of the writing of the characters, but also the legacy, because we see some of that in DC's like Blue Beetle and in Black Adam. We saw a legacy with Atom Smasher because he had an uncle, whatever, that passed down that costume there, which is some things from DC that I love. You having a sense of legacy. This is a larger universe that has history, right? Which I love.
And his bedroom had all the heroes, all the different DC heroes.
Right. But to get to that point of having a good cohesive universe, you see a lot of that in animated properties that they have already done. So for me, it's like, listen, you can have a great Batman movie, just take Batman Under the Red Hood and make that to move. Everybody wants that storyline. You wanted to see a true adaptation of the Justice League Flashpoint, and originally it was going to be that, but they kept switching it. The Flash movie was announced during, I think, the second episode of the Flash TV show, season 1. And the Flash movie didn't come out until Flash's finale on his 9th season. So you remember that it was announced that the Flash movie was announced back around 2014 or 15, right? And right before the Flash premiered on CW, right? And then the movie didn't come out until 9 years later. That's horrible. That's how the rewrites and everything. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who played Thomas Wayne in the Batman vs Superman, he's like, yeah, I can come back as Thomas Wayne, Batman, Flashpoint, but they weren't ever going to do that. And that's why they want to go and do with Michael Keaton and everything. Again, switching things up. If you want to use Michael Keaton, use him for a Batman Beyond storyline with stuff, which that's in the can, because they were going to do that. Actually, they said that, hey, if the Flash movie was good, we're gonna make a Batman Beyond movie, but now we gotta wait a little bit longer for that. So
was Batman Beyond the series where
what
happened?
Well, what'd you say?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
No, go.
No, I was gonna say Batman Beyond the series where he had that crazy costume. It was the comic. Yeah. That was dope.
Yeah, in the future. And you have a Bruce Wayne that's at that age. And now, which I think this is what DC, which I think is perfect when they're doing this Elseworld thing, is the fact that you can do a separate, like, they can still continue their main cinematic universe of multiverse, like of the main DCU films like Superman Legacy, Batman, all the other films that could be the main timeline, right? But then you have these Elseworld stories where it's like, yeah, they're in a different universe, not in the same continuity. But the thing is, there could just be one shots, right? We can just make a Kingdom Come Justice League movie and have it no way connected into the main timeline and everything. So hey, you can potentially bring a Henry Cavill back playing a version of Superman from Kingdom Come or whatever, but it's just a one-shot movie. It's its own standalone thing. But then you give the opportunity to tell a standalone story, but a great DC story, but also you don't have to ask the question, well, how did this connect to that previous movie? Which is what Marvel is doing right now. So it's like, wait, how is Monica Rambeau in a different universe? And now, but then we saw Professor X in this universe, but he got dead. He got killed by Scarlet Witch. So who's this X? Yeah, you see how confusing that shit is.
But it was enjoyable to see him in that old suit of his. Bring back the classics.
I'm looking forward to the Authority. DC is sitting on a gold mine with the Authority. They cast the engineer to be in this Superman movie. They already said they're going to make an Authority movie anyway. The Authority is, to me, a better version of Justice League. You got Apollo, you got Midnighter, you got the engineer, you got the doctor, you got Jeannie Quantum, or whichever one they want to go with. I don't know if they're going to do Jack Hawksmore. But yeah, the Authority is like Justice League meets the Boys. And you see how well the Boys was received. Now, I don't know if DC got the cojones to go as rated R as the Authority usually written. But we'll find out in the future. But the Authority, it's awesome that because the Authority is one of those Wildstorm things. DC saw Wildstorm, and now they're making the Authority. So that means we might one day get a Wildcats. Because people forget about DC is that DC bought a whole bunch of good characters under their umbrella. We like to call Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all that, Green Lantern. But DC own Wildstorm. So they have the Authority. They have the Wildcats.
Yeah,
so they got Maul, a Grifter, Zealot, a Spartan, Boy, all those Wildcat characters that have been having books for years themselves and had a video game and a cartoon. Again, they got Mr. Majestic, which is the Wildstorm version of Superman. They own all that, and they have Milestone comics. So they got Icon, Static, Rocket.
Static.
What's the Blood Syndicate?
Was it Blood Syndicate or no?
And all that. So they had Milestone Universe. They had a Wildstorm Universe, which right now all in the same DC universe. So they got a plethora of new great characters that never been brought to life. That they can blow Marvel off the water if they do this right. Straight up. You see my balance.
See now, because I think. Oh, real quick, I know. Okay, I thought Hank was gonna do the thing.
Well, no, I'm about to go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, because like just like how Jedi mentioned about the Batman Beyond, right? Because I think as we all know, we saw the future of Batman Beyond, and everything else that played a part within the old cartoon series. Having that Elseworld type of style, like bringing the statics, bringing the Batman Beyonds, all that. I think that would be the perfect pocket for them if you want to build that universe up. Give or take, because they're in the same ones.
Well, let me do the super chat real fast, my guys. Man, Mo Free said his phone's about to die, but thanks for having me on. I appreciate you, Mo, coming through with your contribution. Thank you for the blessings. You didn't have to do it, but you did anyway, so thank you for the blessings, my guy. And again, thank you for coming up and with your contribute to the conversation. It was great. Go ahead, Wall. I didn't mean to.
Oh, no. I mean, that was just the main thing I was saying. Like, if they're going to do, because I know they're doing Elseworlds. So I think, privy to what Jedi said about Batman Beyond, and of course, what Red Ranger said, bringing in Static and those type of characters, I think Elseworld would be a perfect pocket for them. Now, of course, but, how they choose to play it out.
Look, I know right now Marvel's doing some shits off the cuff, especially with some of these the Disney series. I would love for them to do a remake of Spawn.
They are.
That's what I've been waiting for, but they're gonna put Jamie Foxx in it.
Yeah, they got yeah.
Well, yeah, but I keep hearing about it. But are they gonna actually ever release that movie?
They started They're supposed to be starting production on it next year, but obviously, because then like one COVID happened, and they couldn't find a director. But then, I mean, Jamie's kind of going through something right now. But I mean, based off again, this is how hypocritical the
limit on the booze, alcohol abuse.
We have people like he just got accused of essaying somebody,
yeah,
right? But here he is, all of a sudden he's getting
allegedly.
He's getting an award at the Critics' Choice Awards and crying, talk about his his health recovery, and everybody's clapping for him and everything. And look how people just forget. This is how this case is gonna get dismissed. People who did it. He's going down, but Jamie Foxx, he here to stay. He's fine. But yeah, Jamie Foxx is gonna be Spawn, but that's gonna be they're trying to do production on that next year. It's supposed to come out, I think, probably 2025. But yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, I understand they can delay things and stuff, but yeah, that's what they are in active development on it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's Jedi. He better not disappoint because Michael Jai White laid that shit down.
They really do need to do it. Well, and maybe I'm saying it for selfish reasons because I want to see it.
Any selfish reasons. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Spawn will be a better Ghost Rider.
Spawn was in production hell because the guy that owned it, Todd McFarlane, originally he was pitching to get another movie made. He wanted to direct it, but he had a problem getting funding behind it. Yep. Nobody wanted to put funding behind it for an inexperienced director. So he finally realized that wasn't going to happen. So he backed off that dream, and that's when it really it really picked up. Originally, he wanted it to be like where Spawn was kind of in the background. Like on a cartoon, they only showed Spawn when necessary, and they had the police officers twitching, whatever his name is, because Jeremy Renner was signed up to play, I think, Twitch, and it was going to be like less superhero, but then they didn't want that either. They wanted Spawn in the forefront as the hero instead of like this sinister, glowing eyes, chains come out to get the bad guys, more horror. He wanted to make it more horror movie than a superhero movie. That's the vision he had for it. But again, he adjusted on that. Hopefully they met mid-ground. Spawn was before its time. Let me just say that.
Yes.
Spawn wasn't well received because it was before its time. Even the special effects look bad now, but back then they looked amazing. And some of them actually look good now. The stuff with the cape. And we weren't ready for Spawn. If Spawn had came out a couple years later, it would have been a way bigger of a movie. We just weren't ready for Spawn. And I hate that it wasn't a blockbuster hit that it should have been, because we should have got a trilogy of these movies. These Spawn movies should have hit like Blade.
But like that wasn't that film. Even then, you look at interviews with Michael J. White with Vlad TV. He said that version he saw in the movie was not the one that he saw that he approved, that greenlit it like that, and which is what a lot of movies the basic get destroyed in the editing bay. Because like this is what's going on with Marvel right now. Like the Marvels had a lot of good scenes that were shot that could add better, make the story better, but they cut it out. So they in the editing room to just make it more shorter, or they thought, we don't think this will work in the scene. Let's just take this out. But no, Michael J. White was very adamant. He did not like that version of Spawn because that's not what the movie he saw.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the troubling things about Spawn. Which I couldn't see how that felt.
Yeah, Michael J. White needs to go kick someone's ass. Tell him straight up, like, I'll go Michael J. White on your asses.
I think they need to cast him.
Greenlight the good movie, give it justice. Don't disrespect Spawn. Put some respect on the guy's name, all right?
I think they need to cast him to play Blue Marvel and do it fast as possible. Cast Michael J. White to play Blue Marvel and do it as fast as possible because he ain't getting any younger. But I think he can really put off a good Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel is a really good character that they won't use.
And if not him, I can think of another character he could play. Icon.
See,
You're muted right there.
now,
I can see that. Icon always was an older gentleman.
yeah,
Back.
like I have this textbook film for me, like for DC. It's like my thing. There's one character for me that's tied to my heart again. Static Shock. If James Gunn, I know people on Twitter respond, "Hey, are you gonna do milestone characters?" He said, "Yes, I will." Which there's only one main milestone character you can do, which is Static. But if they ruin that character for me, I don't know. I'll never forgive them for that. But
They better
it's
make
like,
that a TV series.
no, whether the TV series, not, I don't give a damn. I just wanted to be right. All right.
Well,
But the point is that I want them to do my version is the way they can incorporate the legacy of DC, but also how in that heart of Milestone is that you have the template of a retired superhero, which is Black Lightning, played by Denzel Washington, who was a principal, at school and everything that Virgil is going to. All of a sudden, Virgil, if he gets his powers, the city of Dakota City is invested with gangs, the gang babies, and all that stuff like that, right? And now he wants to start doing a life of vigilante. But then all of a sudden, you realize that he's interacting. He runs into uh, Denzel Washington, who's a retired Black Lightning. He has to come out of retirement basically to train and teach Static in terms of ways of being a hero. But even though he's not getting back, he still is old and keep him that way. But you put him as a mentor figure for Static because they have been mentors and been a mentor for him in the comics before. But the fact that you have these two characters, you have a legacy and you also have a new milestone character. And you can add a relationship there. Maybe he's, Static is dating his daughter, who's also a character, Thunder and Lightning, and Black Lightning's daughters and stuff. But because they had a TV show called Black Lightning on CW.
Yeah, that sort of be a stretch because of the timing. But yeah, that's what
I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
They
Of course.
They can switch it around where they want. But again, I want them to have Black Lightning mentor Static in that film. And because I just think that'd be a great story, be very impactful, also representing type of father figure as well. But again, it just feels like that. Again, Static Shock was ahead of his time. The show dealt with gun violence, dealt with racism, but not in a woke way, but in a realistic way, stuff like that. So I think that's just a great opportunity for them. Like honestly, their version of Black Panther is make a freaking Static Shock movie. Like that.
Hey Jedi, you think you can see Jamie Foxx playing Black Lightning if they don't give him Spawn?
It could, but I think it'd be ironic though. I mean, but
I mean,
I think again,
I'm just saying. I'm only saying that because you can every time you keep putting that image and that word of having Denzel retired and old. I keep thinking of the movie Fences, and I don't want to see him drunk either anymore in that movie.
No, not that old. I'm talking about Equalizer old. Equalizer old.
You're still pretty old, man.
Yeah, so like that. Like to me, I'm thinking like giving one badass scene like Virgil's captured somewhere, and then he coming in and with the gang boss and stuff. And then he pulls Virgil out and he explains. Yeah,
to me, Equalizer was like.
Wait a minute! Don't forget, because I do remember in the Static Shock animated series, he also had a partner, bro. That can be Samuel Jackson.
Oh, Gear? Not
Gear.
White dude.
No, not Gear.
That's a white dude.
No, that's Static Shock's partner. I'm talking about Black Lightning's partner. I'm pretty sure he had a partner.
No, that was his daughter.
The daughter.
No. Remember the animated series. The animated series. I'm talking about the animated series.
I don't know. Black Lightning had a partner.
Because the way. Okay, I'm gonna have to look back. I'm gonna get back.
No.
Static Shock.
Let me do this super chat real fast.
Yeah.
Let me do the super chat real fast. Shout out to the Red Pill Podcast for even coming through, helping out, and contributing to the show. I appreciate you, brother. He said, "Gotta head out and go live at 8 p.m. Right on to you, brother. Thanks, Hink. It's been fun. Peace and blessings, gentlemen. Right on to you, Red Pill. You didn't have to donate, but you chose to, and I appreciate the blessing. Thank you, sir, for the $5 super chat. Go ahead, Wally. You trying to figure out who's the partner of?
No, because I'm pretty sure, because the way I remembered it, in the Static Shock animated series, that I'm pretty sure Black Lightning had a partner. I don't know if he was, but again,
Black Lightning wasn't in Static Shock.
I was in Static Shock's anime series.
That was Gear. That was his.
No, I'm not talking about his partner. I know his partner. I'm talking about the guy the old man that actually had the lightning powers. That he met.
That was no. So you're talking about Young Justice.
Not even Young Justice. I'm literally talking about the actual. Bro, what? Let me find it. I'm gonna send you a clip. I'll send you a clip. If I find it, I'll send you the clip.
I'm getting trauma flashbacks of Civil War. Team Cap versus Team Iron Man right here. It's bad.
I mean, you're saying you're talking about animated series.
Animated series. The amongst Static Shock alone, not anything else.
Black Lightning was never in a Static Shock show.
Okay, look. So I'm gonna send you.
Round one.
I'm gonna see. Look, I'm gonna go back and then I'm gonna see for sure. And if I show I'll show you the character I'm talking about. There's an old fella in there.
No, the only first appearance you ever got Black Lightning was when he played by Sinbad in Living Color. That's the only time you saw that, something like that. And y'all know what I'm talking about is during Superman's funeral.
Yeah, I remember. I know what you're talking about.
No.
In Living Color, some of y'all history, y'all think I was too young to know that damn show, but I know.
You still learning shit, but whatever. You're a tadpole.
No. I know my history. I
got you. You went from a tadpole to a bullfrog. Congratulations.
No.
For those who don't know, I do have the series of In Living Color on DVD.
Yes. Exactly.
Damn, you old.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Homie, don't play that.
Age gracefully, sir. Age gracefully. Bask in it.
Right. So I'm what that's what I'm saying. I think that would be a great story for them to pitch with Black Lightning incorporated with Static Shock, though, because you want to talk about black characters. Well, I'm very excited for them for this for DC. Again, DC had a lot of good things coming up. They got a Lantern show, a Green Lantern show coming out.
Okay.
With, and they're having both Hal Jordan and John Stewart, but it's going to be like in a true detective style type show, which would be interesting. But yeah, having those two, seeing John Stewart Green Lantern is another one. You get him right, I'm okay, right? But
bro, I'm telling you, bro, I want to see Kyle Rayner, John Stewart, and Hal Jordan all in one scene. Can I get that one day?
I mean, I don't see why you cast Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern in the next Superman movie. I don't see him not being in the Lantern series because he's the third Green Lantern in terms of Silver Age comics.
Yeah.
So, Hink, are you confused, Hink?
Yeah, I am. I'm totally confused now. Y'all talk about this.
Well, take notes, Junior. Take notes, Junior.
Ryan Reynolds kind of ruined Green Lantern for me, and I'm not gonna lie.
No, the writers did.
Oh, okay, well, there you
and
go.
The directors, they trash. They low value. They're great value, like Walmart.
Kind of ruined that for me, but let me ask you this: some of y'all don't remember this back in the days. Bruce Lee played Kato in the Green Hornet. Or we're gonna have a remake of the Green Hornet. Not that goddamn. No.
We did.
No.
He said no. Seth Rogen don't count. He said Seth Rogen don't count.
No, hell no. That was a goddamn show. We're gonna have a real Green Hornet and Kato movie. We're gonna have a real one. Not that bullshit Seth Rogen did. That was terrible. That was, like my man said, that was trash. I want a real one. So we're not gonna have a little Asian man as Kato.
Listen. Also, another thing that I want to add in. Listen, I also want to make sure that this is a little off topic, but I want to make sure that the Mortal Kombat movie comes out next, because the Mortal Kombat that we got, it wasn't even based in a tournament. That's like going to pregame, but you don't even go to the party after. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I couldn't stand that. You didn't like it though, Marcus? I
like half of it.
It's getting a sequel.
But technically the first one was 0.5. We're actually going to get the first one with a tournament in it. You feel me?
Look, I enjoyed the most recent one. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good movie, man. I really did.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, for what we got.
You don't mean that shit, Jedi.
I do.
You say don't mean.
It was kind of like when they have taste some ribs, but they weren't that good. But you're like, yeah, they're great. Yeah, sure.
Well, again, it's not the best thing in the world, but the fact that it got itself a sequel is like, for me, the movie was good. Just take the white family out of there, and you should have put Johnny Cage in there instead of this one character who's not even a Mortal Kombat character.
He's basically a character you make as an avatar in the game.
But again, he's not a Mortal Kombat character.
That's what I'm saying. It's a character you just make as an avatar.
What they could have done, and this is I'm not getting the comic. I don't know if Mortal Kombat is comic, but whatever the lore all of it is, I know for a fact that entire storyline could be replaced with Johnny Cage because but the problem is because this is a kung fu Asian movie and everything like that, you don't want to have your lead's character to be a white dude. I understand that, but you have to understand this is freaking Mortal Kombat. Use Mortal Kombat characters. What they could have done was use Johnny Cage and use his family as the mom and the daughter. You could use the mom be Sonya Cage and the daughter be Cassie Cage. Sonya Cage got divorced. They got divorced with Johnny Cage and everything.
Yeah, that happens later though, Jedi. You can't fast forward that stuff.
She got killed by Melina, right? And then so therefore you can have the daughter rise up to the occasion, fight the woman who killed her mother in the tournament, and that's how got the Mortal Kombat insignia, and she get into the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but you're already skipping a whole bunch of movies though, and a whole bunch of sequels.
What movies? This is a damn storyline.
No, but the storyline you're skipping like 7, 8 like games into it, like in the story mode type stuff.
No.
All these secrets I didn't know.
Yes, you are, Jedi. You cannot question me on this. I'm undefeated at this.
About Mortal Kombat, the video game.
Exactly. I don't know how we got to this point.
I don't know. We blame this on Marcus.
Just blame it on the non-melanated guy. Whatever, it's all right.
Now, I will say I have a question for Hank though. Going back to the conversation with Marvel and DC is that with Marvel, what is the one solution that you think that they can go to in terms of fixing the problems they created, so way they can hopefully move forward in a better direction going to 2024?
Oh man, it's a tough question, brother. Look, I don't like. Let's keep it honest. I don't like it that we are trying to be not only race sensitive, but gender sensitive. Look, leave the characters who they are in the comic book. I think they represented. I think they represented all genders and race in the comic book. They already did a good job of that. So why change the ethnicity of the characters? I don't believe. Why are you doing that?
Stop making everything so rainbow.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That not at all. And the gender that really just put me over to the end. Like, God damn, why are we doing this? Leave it alone. These characters, I have enough across the spectrum. You have a lot of good women superheroes. You have a lot of good black superheroes. You just got to write their storyline and do their movies. Why change them? Don't do that. I think that would help a whole lot. Now, I think with Disney, unfortunately, they're not going to be relaxed. They're going to go for the rated PG movies. They don't want to touch even on the 13 half the time. I think they need to do that. Bring blood into it. I know you don't want to do it. I know it. You know, you trying to cater to the kids. But look here, that's not your fan base. That's not your fan base. Your fan base is guys my age, 40-year-old men, and that's mainly your fan base between the ages of 25 and 50s is your fan base. I know why you're doing what you're doing, because you're trying to cater towards all of them. Stop. Don't do that. Stop. I promise you, the newer fans, they would adjust and adapt to the situation if you keep it the way it should be. But
let them know, Hank. Tell them Michael Jordan status. Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I had that clip.
I would. So my response with that would be, again, the issue is that on a story perspective, because yes, you can have many different characters. Like for me, I'm a fan of Mom Vellani as Miss Marvel. I think she's a good addition because she is who she is in the comics. So when she gets introduced, I know people are not going to like her. I know some people that have been asking for her. So I think that her addition to the MCU, I mean, it makes perfect sense. And I think she has not been a bad part of the MCU, other than she's been in bad stories, not that she's a bad character. And that's really most of the issues really with some of the characters that they introduced, that are not that they're bad characters, that they're bad, that they're in bad stories, so that are not serving them to be well perceived by audiences. Because again, I like WandaVision, the show. I love Monica Rambeau as they don't give her a superhero name, but her name's Photon. She was Captain Marvel in the comics and stuff, but love Tiana Paris. I loved her, and I loved her in the Marvels. But the thing was that I just want her to be in a better movie that served her character. Same thing with Miss Marvel. I just want her to be in a better movie, so way that because it doesn't matter because nobody's watching the Disney Plus shows. Nobody's watching them, right? So you can have a good Disney Plus show, okay, but if it's not translating to the theaters and being good, you're not making really no impact. And that's what at the end of the day is supposed to be a Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you're not translating the good writing you have on a TV show, Loki, that 20% of your viewership dropped, but yet you're not going to put this writing into a $250 million dollar movie that you're financing, and you're not putting that into the theaters. That makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. And for me being the movie critic side, is like I understand the politics of it. Like I understand why this movie turned out the way it did because it got delayed or there was rewrites. Like the next Captain America movie, right? That movie was basically done shooting, and they basically said, "Nope, we're reshooting this like almost 8% of this whole movie," and that's why they delayed it a whole year. Because at first you were supposed to get this movie before Deadpool 3, right? This movie, the next Captain America movie, was supposed to come out in May, and then Deadpool is supposed to come out in November of next year. Now that got reversed and everything. But yeah, they were reshooting that whole thing. And why though? You're seeing reports of test screenings. People are not liking the movie, how it's turning out. So they're just rewriting the whole movie. Again, the direction that they're taking with some of these characters is that they're not saying they go back to ground one, but again, it's like I feel in 2023, 2024 in Comic-Con, which I'll be, they're going to make an announcement of their new slate because they weren't there in Comic-Con last year. They're going to release a new slate of movies and shows, and I bet you that half of the shows and movies they announced are going to get canceled. And it's like, nope, we're no longer going to be making this Vision Quest show. Yeah, Young Avengers, we're not going to make work on that right now. Yeah, we're going to focus on these main things so we can get to our big tentpole event films, which is Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars, right? Because again, I'm telling you, every Avengers movie has made $1 billion. I'm not saying it right now, but I'll say this at this point: Kang Dynasty will not make $1 billion. That's what I'm believing. Secret Wars, Avengers Secret Wars will, because you're bringing a whole bunch of different characters and everything. People expecting Hugh Jackman to come back, and Tobey Maguire to come back and everything, but that's not confirmed. That's just rumored. But that Secret Wars has potential to be another $1 billion movie. But Kang Dynasty, we have no Avengers team in the Marvel universe. There's no team right now who can say, "Oh yeah, Shang-Chi's part of the Avengers." Right? No, we have not seen it. We have not seen the Avengers or the world react to Sam Wilson being Captain America in a team dynamic. We don't know who the Avengers are anymore, right? And that's an issue. So when you bring up this new team like the Avengers, okay, great storyline in the comics and everything, but is that what we need now? And the answer is no. What we need again is consistency, but also a direction where these storylines are going. Because again, you have the movies Eternals that came out a couple years ago. There was a big giant celestial that came out of Earth. Nobody has talked about it in 4 or 5 Disney Plus shows or last 3 or 4 movies, and that's insane. Nobody talked about
that again, Jedi. Can you repeat yourself?
That nobody didn't see the big celestial that come out of Earth in the Eternals. Nobody has mentioned that. Shang-Chi, great character. We have not seen that character since 2021, and nothing. There would possibly be a connection with Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, but after watching the Marvels, that was out of the picture. So we're just not going to see this dude in another 2 or 3 years until his own movie. No, and that was the one good character you introduced. And then with your female characters, there's another thing. It's not the fact that we don't like female characters. There's great female characters in the X-Men, which is what we're waiting for, right? However, the problem is that it gets to a point that when you waited X-Men for so long, is now, okay, you watch the Marvels, and I'm not going to spoil the scene if you have seen the Marvels, but like when an X-Men thing happened, it's like, okay, great, but I already saw that. You saw that in Doctor Strange too, right? So all the hype of the X-Men basically just went out the window. Cause I'm like, well, I already seen that X-Men thing. I saw Professor X in the yellow wheelchair. So now when I see Beast and everything, I'm like, okay, cool, but do I care? No. They should have done this about a year or two ago. Because again, the hype, everybody only gave a damn about this whole multiverse thing because of X-Men and Spider-Man. That was it. That was it. Or possibly Fantastic Four if they did something. But that was the only reason why people care about the multiverse was X-Men and Spider-Man. Now we already got through that. So at this point, and I even said this after when Loki came out, that after Spider-Man No Way Home, and after when they do some of the X-Men stuff, which they did in Doctor Strange, do you even care about the multiverse anymore? Do you even care? Because once we see those scenes, the interactions, like, it's okay. Well, what's the impact of it? It's the last great thing of Marvel everyone collectively went back to was Spider-Man No Way Home, and the issue is with the multiverse things that they're doing, you're overcomplicating these storylines because people say, "Oh, I'm so sick of the multiverse storylines and everything. This is too much." Like, no, it's not. DC been doing that for years and been self-explanatory. When you're adding all these terms, that's confusing everybody. And this is I said this to my wife. My wife watches these movies with me, and I said this: if you confuse someone like me who know the comics, there's a problem. Because I don't need a YouTube video.
Jedi, do you think that maybe some of these people aren't doing enough homework, or they overlooked the homework they did within the comic and the storyline and the source material?
They overlook it. No, I think it's more of
either overlook it or don't appreciate what's already there.
It's almost like you try to reinvent the wheel, but you're in a tire shop. What I mean by that is that you're in a library of things that you can use to assemble something, but yet you're like, okay, how can I make a wheel here? Like, how can I redo something? What you already have is on the shelf for the past 30, 40, 50 years in comics. You have the template there. So that's where my I would say in terms of they try to reinvent the wheel on things like, no, you can just do this storyline, not hard. And this is another thing too, because we're in the age of technology. We as fans are doing the work of these studios, in terms of like making these theory videos and these explaining and everything. And then we have all this and we watch the movie. The plot is a lot more simpler than it actually is, which is why I don't do a lot of theories and everything. I'm like, oh, what I'm thinking is not to par what they're going to be doing. They're going to do something simpler. And so this is my thing with when we're in arguments with people who are still on the Marvel, bandwagon. I'm not thinking I still watch these characters. I'm still going to watch the film. I'm still going to watch Madam Web and all that stuff. Okay, I could be wrong. I mean, I still like these characters, but I don't have to way they're being portrayed. But I'm still going to watch it, to review it and everything. But the thing is, as a fan, there's fanatics where they'll just like anything that Marvel says because, oh, we're Marvel here. Look at this. Wow. No, I'm not a naive Marvel fan anymore. We're not naive. There's no more you just giving a mediocre movie and having a cool 2-second end credit scene that excites you about something, and then you realize, wait a minute, great end credit scene, but that was a mediocre movie. Everyone's just talking about, but look at the end credit scene. That was such great. I understand. Those 2 minutes, you can watch that shit on YouTube. I want to talk about the 2.5-hour movie you just watched. Was that a good movie? And that's people not thinking clearly with that. Because again, we're not taking Marvel's BS anymore because now we see the pattern.
Yeah. And
you can't get mad at us for understanding your algorithm, your pattern. We're the customer. So and then what fans I think been with Marvel or some of the direction, guys, just wait. You guys just need to wait to see how the storyline. No. Because you go back to days of Marvel Phase 1 and Phase 2, we were still able to slowly follow things through and not get overly complicated. Like I can still explain this to my dad, who watched the cartoon stuff with me, but he was a fan of the movies. But he's like, yeah, man, what's this? How do you get to this? Well, and I explain it to him. I'm the YouTube video. I'm the dictionary in my family for this stuff. But when I can't explain it to you, there's a problem. So I have fans like, well, no, they can just do this. And I'm like, bro, they're not going to do that. They're not going to make this complicated, like, the storyline. And you're doing the work for them. I'm telling you that they're not going to do this in these movies. I know the pattern. So that's where it's like
it's like trying to make the Titanic ship sail sink on purpose. This is what I don't get. Why are you gonna make a product like the Titanic that wants to sink? When Leonardo DiCaprio froze his ass off to save what's her face, Kate Winslet.
You see how Marcus always takes us to a different direction with this bullshit. First it was more coming back, now it's fucking Titanic. God damn you, Marcus.
You're welcome.
I was like, I had no comment.
Yeah.
I'm just sick to my stomach right now too. I got knots and everything.
I see something's going on with you. Oh, guys.
Okay. For my ideal opinion of what they can do better for DC, it's been the clearest, obvious opinion. Having patience, literally, like have patience with your dang work, because I think that's been the biggest downfall to you guys is y'all have horrible patience with y'all work. I think y'all in a perfect position every which way, shape, and form. Y'all have all y'all projects under house. Have the freaking patience. Delegate this stuff a little bit more. Seriously. As far as Marvel goes, well. Yeah, y'all writing. Y'all need to get that together because boy, that Ant-Man the Wasp that sort of pissed me off because that was like you missed like a clear, obvious gap in the story telling that movie, and it was just
you're talking about Quantumania?
Yes, literally, because in that whole movie, like telling the story about what literally that was going on as far as with Kane. And not even really breaking it down, especially to the point that what the woman has sawed, that was right there, the drop off of the movie right there. That the moment that clicked in, I was like, okay, yeah, you make him a villain without really knowing that he's actually a villain, and then only to find out, well, they will never really get to find out, but only to find out that really he's really a hero just with a very tendency of just horrible trauma wrapped all in the mix. But with Marvel for sure, that it's going to be a whole lot of better writing, and at this point they're gonna definitely have to suit up on better characters as far as like just people to play the acting role of it all, because right now they're dying for replacements in my opinion.
And we're waiting for Deadpool 3 too. That's gonna kick ass.
Yeah, that's Sony though.
So Marcus, what the same question that Jedi was asking? What is your take? What can it be?
Can you repeat the original question?
Jedi, what was the original question again, brother?
What would you change, or what would you hope that that DC or Marvel, either which way, would do to benefit their movies in a better trajectory? Something like that.
Well, it's like the quality of the writing, the storyline, the direction it takes. Just like MCU when it was doing it with Iron Man, going from the first Robert Downey Jr. in 2007, 2008, going on to the Infinity Saga. They need to do that kind of stuff in the right way, because when DC was doing it originally, when he started with Man of Steel, which then went on to Batman vs. Superman, it was a trajectory that kind of like they balanced. I didn't think Batman vs. Superman was a bad movie. I didn't think it was a great movie. I think it was in the middle. I think it was. I can watch it sometimes and sit down and understand it, but it still wasn't going to live up to par to like a Civil War, because there was more depth to it, because there was more storyline, because there was more of a foundation. There were breadcrumbs. There was background. There was a sense of relating to the character, or having this emotional connection, I think, and this social intelligence of like, hey, we know who Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark is, and Steven Rogers is for Chris Evans. We understand what these people mean. So when it happened with the original DC universe, it wasn't doing that as much. It didn't have that substance, but Man of Steel did. Like you saw the great potential of what Man of Steel was, which is like the high point of that DC universe. Because Man of Steel was probably like the greatest of the DC universe project in its era before they ended it. And then Zack Snyder's Justice League cut, which they kept asking, release the Snyder cut. And we got it, and it was great. I actually thought Snyder Cut version of Justice League was probably one of the best DC movies I've seen besides Watchmen. Because Watchmen is one of those movies that I can watch to this day, and I appreciate what Dr. Manhattan was, what Night Owl, what Rorschach, what the Comedian, which was played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, even Silk Spectre, and even Ozymandias. So we look at all these characters. And damn, like it's all there. It's just you give the reins to the right people, and then listen to your fandom. Listen to the fandom, like Hank said, the age demographic. Like pay attention to your comment section. Just look at the reviews. Like don't just look at what you want to do because we see what Marvel's been doing lately, and it's been tanking, and they don't want to do it. But listen, who the hell am I, right? Who the hell am I?
But I'll add one more key part to it as well. In the process of building this up, when knowing you're about to hit one of your pinnacle heroes, you damn sure want to get it damn right. Like, don't leave it high and dry.
And have a great villain too.
Because let's be real here. Because if you're gonna, like, I always say this, like, right? If let's say, for a perfect example, like DC, right? Okay, you show us Superman, better be on point. You show us Batman, better be on point. Once you show those guys, it's like, okay, well, now you're dropping in fillers. Like, okay, the guys in fillers, make them good, make some connections, throw some Easter eggs somewhere, connect the trails. Eventually keep going. And then the next big movie, you better make sure it's on point. You better make sure you got time. Set it up right. Do not rush nothing. Like, again, patience is a mug with these movies right now.
Yeah, because my thing is no offense to any of you guys who probably find Gal Gadot attractive, which I clearly do, but she wasn't screaming to me I didn't get the vibe of Wonder Woman as much from her. I didn't. As much as the first movie was actually a good movie to watch, I didn't get that vibe I didn't get that vibe like she was really that Wonder Woman for the Justice League itself, I didn't get that vibe.
Lie, she was more Wonder Woman than Henry Cavill was more Superman, in my opinion.
I don't know about that, but anyways,
Negro,
but when it comes like Jason Momoa with like Aquaman, like I didn't really get that vibe from Momoa as Aquaman as much either. But I gave it a chance. And the first movie wasn't like it was actually a good movie for what it was, and Patrick Wilson playing Ocean Master, and then you had what's the name of the character who played Black Manta Jedi? The actor's name, or Hank or anybody, Wally, who knows?
Yaha Madu Mateen.
There you go. Yeah. Yaha Madu Mateen. He played a great job with Black Manta. But even then I was like, let me get past the the voice and then like the locks and stuff like that. But whatever.
Yeah,
it is what it is. And then we never got a chance to see a Green Lantern, even though there was cut scenes and deleted scenes and stuff, and concept art for a Green Lantern that I wanted to see Hal Jordan of. And then we got to see John Johns, which is Martian Manhunter, but the guy was old, probably a little bit older than Hank. It is what it is.
Well, and alien. What do you
your goddamn mouth, man.
It's an alien. What do you expect? Martian Manhunter is an alien.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like we didn't get a Hawk Girl. We didn't get a Hawkman. I'm whatever.
Yeah, Hawk Girl and Hawkman were in the TV series. You'll be all right.
whatever, man.
They were in the TV series. You'll be all right.
Well, guys, look here, man. I appreciate you guys coming. I appreciate I'm just glad we was able to have this show, Jedi Mike. Thank you, sir, for coming through. Wally coming through. Marcus with his bullshit, throwing us off subject at times.
Go Ravens.
He's appreciated as well as my man Red Pill and my man Mo for coming through. But if y'all can, just give you a little final thoughts on what do you think? What do you think is going to be the next great movie that DC and Marvel is going to do and going to be successful? I think Jedi Mike kind of alluded to he thinks the $1 billion movie is going to be Secret Wars, but there's another movie you may see, maybe even a Disney series that you may see that's going to be successful. But if y'all can, just give me one of each if possible.
Yeah, I said this. The next $1 billion movie, hopefully for Marvel, for me, for next year is my most anticipated movie of the year, which is Deadpool 3. Deadpool 3, I think it's gonna make $1 billion, and it should. And the fact that this is gonna be the only MCU movie coming out next year, I think again it's the break that Marvel needs. But having a big win for that year with this film, I think will be what they need to at least give a palate cleanser before they get to 2025. Because 2025 they have 4 movies coming out: Captain America, Thunderbolts, which is a team up movie, Blade, and Fantastic Four. So that's going to be a big year for them. So I think that this is going to be a palate cleanser for 2024, having Deadpool 3 be the next $1 billion film. For DC, I think where everything's is building up to be, I think Superman Legacy is going to be a great film. At least what I'm looking at, the casting looks good. However, the next DC film that's coming out is going to be next week is going to be Aquaman, but next year, the Joker 2 with Todd Phillips, with Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. The first film was a great film, be nominated for Oscars and stuff. I don't see this film why it will not follow that trend as well. So I definitely see the Joker film, which is coming out next year, going to that trajectory. But yeah, those 2 films.
Go ahead, Wall.
All right. So for Marvel, I mean, I think right now, more importantly, anything else, Deadpool do have to really hit. It has to sell at this point to truly to make you feel invested about the future project that they're now trying to clean up since they pushed it back. I mean, at this point, you having both Deadpool and Wolverine, you're pretty much having the old game back together if you understand that storyline in the comics and even then in the movies as well. So that right there, if that don't sell, I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't know what will. As far as DC, I only pray. Like, look, I'm truly gonna be good with the Superman movie because we're actually getting the Superman that we all hope for. Literally. Superman we all hope for, in my opinion, at least. So yeah, I'm gonna be stoked for those. I'll be stoked for those.
Go ahead, Marcus. Hopefully you can stay on task.
You know I will, man. You know I'm basking my masculinity right now. Don't you dare take me off my path. Listen, as far as Marvel, quality over quantity, but at the same time, I can see a Spider-Man series being a part of Disney Plus series. You can put Tom Holland. You can even put some of the other Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire. That'd be interesting, having some adventures, fighting villains, cross-universe for this moment of the saga in the series of Marvel with doing multiverse parallel universes and stuff. I could see stuff like that. That'll get engagement. Hey, America, you might want to buy some more toys and some more underpants and some more freaking backpacks and stuff like that. The kids might want to buy that stuff, coloring books, pop-ups, and everything. Maybe a video game every now and then if you want to. All right. And another thing too, right? DC has a great chance of doing some things. Like I said already, you got the creature commandos, whatever they're called, right? They're gonna have hopefully they have a good cyborg that actually stays here, and hopefully the productions doesn't clash like they did with Ray Fisher. And I support Ray Fisher. I like Ray Fisher. Don't go hard on him, right? Leave him alone. I'm gonna go back to Marvel now with Blade because I'm still sticking on topic. You see how I can do that, Hank? I can multitask. Blade, Mahershala Ali. You know what I'm saying? Mahershala Ali, whatever damn fuck name is, guy in the green room and the guy in the green book, whatever the goddamn name is. But he did a great job. I can see him. All right, leave him alone because I saw him in Moonlight too. He did a great job in Moonlight. All right, and I also remember him in Predators too. All right, he was in Predators. All right, on that planet with Adrian Brody. So I can see him too, doing a great job for Blade. But make sure it's goddamn good writing. All right, and you got the guy Jon Snow from Game of Thrones as Black Knight. All right, at the end of Eternals. All right, WandaVision was mid to me. All right, but Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki were great. Were great shows, and What If was a great show as well. Now they're doing the season 2 of What If. We'll see how that goes in the trajectory, all right? Because they're doing some great things, all right? You got to give us good substance. And then Shang-Chi was probably one of the best things that's happened, especially for adding martial arts, kung fu fighting and stuff like that. Because the only other guy that could fight like that was Captain America. We knew that. You know that. You know what? Hey, guess what? Brooklyn, Queens couldn't stand a chance against Brooklyn when they fought that in the airport scene in Civil War. You saw what happened. But now we got to get Blade and we got to get Shang-Chi on the same side too.
I know he did
They'll
not
be
just
kicking
say
ass too. You know what I'm saying? Then you have X-Men. All right, you have X-Men too. So don't do this to us, America. Don't do this to us, Marvel Productions and Studios. All right, X-Men better not be atrocious. Like Brock Lesnar said, like the heavyweight division is a disaster, is a piece of shit right now. We don't need that right now. We don't. That's right, Jedi. Calm down. All right, but like I said, X-Men. The last time we're going to be able to see, and the only time we're going to be able to see, exactly, Jedi, exactly. The last time we're going to be able to see Hugh freaking Jackman, and what's potentially the only thing that's going to be related to within the MCU after this movie, and then he's done. We're going to go back to his Australian beach shores and everything.
Well,
all right,
bask in this moment.
And that's it. All right. Secret Wars is the only thing, but we gotta make sure we get to Doctor Doom or somebody, the Beyond or Galactus or some shit. Liam Neeson taking ass.
All right, we need Mark to land this plane a lot sooner. That motherfucker ran out of fuel.
That's it.
God damn. God.
I'm done wreaking havoc. By my grace, I'm undefeated.
Well, look, mine is Jesus Christ. I'm hoping this Fantastic Four series, our movies, comes through for me. That will be my thing. Now, I think Deadpool's going to do what it's going to do. I think Deadpool's going to do what it's going to do. I don't think that's going to be a problem because I love the first two, and I think 3's going to be probably the best out of all of them. Yeah, so I think that's going to do what it's going to do. I'm hoping for the Fantastic Four so we could, like you said, we could be introduced to Doctor Doom, and we'll go from there. Now, it might be an end credit scene before we get introduced to him, and that's cool. Bring on Galactus and bring on Silver Surfer. I don't know if it's going to be the female Silver Surfer or what we're going to have, but, I guess it's still in the works. Yeah. I'm hoping the Fantastic Four be the one for me. As far as DC, I'm looking forward to seeing Aquaman. I like the first one. I thought it was pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing how I like the trajectory where we're going to see the Black Mantis. I like that. So looking forward to seeing.
That's gonna be one good war, boy.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So that'll be my one for DC. So I can't wait. As far as a Batman sequel with my man from Twilight, I didn't like him as an actor, and I still don't. But if he's going to be the Batman coming back, I guess I better just let it go and just let it be, right? And we'll see.
He is.
Oh, goddamn. So, okay.
He is. Trust me.
It is what it is.
Well, I mean, in that version.
In that version.
You just got to wait a little longer until they do the new one.
Yeah. Because that Batman version, the Brave and the Bold with his son in the future tense of it all.
So, we'll see. We'll see. But, guys, again, I appreciate you coming through. Having this show. I think it was a great thing. I know we kind of nerded out, and it's a little different from my audience for the base. But, hey, sometimes you gotta change it up, right? You ain't can't always talk about what they say, dick and pussy, relationship, all that fuckery shit. You gotta something different, right? I like to talk about making money. I like to talk about other things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely gonna be getting back there to next week. Next week I am going to be talking about crypto and Bitcoin. So if y'all guys are into it, are interested in getting into it, definitely make sure y'all guys tune in. I'm definitely going to have a conversation with a couple of good guys that are planning on having the show. And we definitely going to have that conversation. I guess what I consider business as normal. But today I just want to break up and not just talk about this because I love DC and I love Marvel and I love the movies and I love the characters. I love the action figures and the Funko Pops that they had offered. So I definitely need to just have the conversation. But before I go, album of the week is Outkast, Aliens. To me, probably one of their best albums. I know I like some of the playlists. I love that album, but that Aliens album, man, I love it. So shout out to that album of the week, and shout out to you guys for coming, Marcus, Wally, Jedi Mike.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for making the trip in. I appreciate you guys, man. And y'all lovely gentlemen, have a good night and happy holidays, man. If I don't get an opportunity to talk to you guys again, y'all have a happy holidays and a happy
holiday. You're welcome, Hank. You're welcome that we gave you this content.
Amen.
Let
me get him up out of here real fast. Okay, he's about to fuck up a wet dream. I promise you, he was about to mess it up. But no. Thank you for coming through, Marcus. I appreciate it. Even though you messing up, throwing us off topic, I do appreciate you.
Lord,
AKA capital C content.
Right on, whatever you said.
All right.
Wally, thank you, brother, for coming through, man. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Jedi Mike, man, I thought it was a good show. Well, you know, I said it's different from my audience, and I understand that. You know, it is what it is. But I appreciate you coming through, my brother.
Absolutely. Love to do this again.
If you want to, man, shout out your thing that you do. I see one of your clips you had. One, I guess, I don't know if it was the director or the writer of the Christmas Land or Christmas Cane or movie.
So yeah, I have a channel, YouTube, Jedi Mike 7 right here on my handle here, and also on Instagram. That's where I'm more predominantly posting content there. Yeah, I've been posting just a bunch of interviews I've been doing. And recently I interviewed director Reggie Hudlin. He directed House Party. He directed some of your famous, black films and stuff. He directed a new movie called Candy Cane Lane with Eddie Murphy, Tracy Ellis Ross on Amazon Prime. You can watch that, currently streaming right now. I just interviewed Sterling K. Brown and Jeffrey Wright for this new film called American Fiction, which is probably my favorite film this year. Probably definitely be nominated for some Oscars for next year. But I interviewed them, so I'll be posting that content too. But yeah, I do interviews, film critic, though, movie reviews and stuff like that. I take this very seriously and everything, as you can tell. So, but I said thank you, Hank, for having me. Please, reach out to me if you want me to call me back again and everything. More than happy to come back and discuss more things, if not just comic book stuff, or just other things in general. But yeah,
brother Jedi, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. And again, like I said, I want you to have a great and beautiful holidays. It's your first Christmas as a married man.
Yes,
shout
sir.
out to you guys, man. Shout out to you guys, and congratulations again, my brother. I appreciate you coming up. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna drop you down. I'm gonna end this real fast. We talk a little bit in the back if you want.
Okay, sure. I'll say. Yeah.
Guys, man, look here. Another successful night in the basement. We had good conversation. I know we kind of nerded out a little bit, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Sometimes you got to break the monotony. Like I said, you got to change it up, switch it up just a little bit, man. So thank you guys for coming through. I appreciate those who rocking with me. Lady Naveau, Marcus, my man, Red Pill Podcast, man. Y'all, thank you for the super chat. Mo, dedicated to the children's future. Thank you for coming through. You didn't have to, man, but y'all chose to come through. And not only come through, y'all donate. I appreciate you. No Chaser, man. Look, shout out to you. Expect the unexpected. Shout out to you, my guy. Chris Senior, thanks for coming. My man Wood always keep coming through. World class. My man Wally for putting in the comments and coming on the show. Thank you, sir. And anybody else that I miss, I promise you, hey, charge it to my mind and not my heart. Because I appreciate every last one of you come through. And every one of y'all who gave super chats. OG230, Red Pill Ranger. I'm sorry, Red Park. Sorry about that, bro. Red Pill Ranger. And my man Mo Freestyle. Thank you, brother, for coming through and being on the show. Thank you, guys, man. And again, y'all keep rocking with me. Next week, we are going to, be back on the sports thing. It's going to be another week closer as far as the NFL playoffs and as far as the college playoffs. Another week closer. But not only that, man, that Wednesday, we're going to talk about Bitcoin and crypto, man. I'm trying to get you guys some money on how to make money, how to diversify your money. So let's just have a conversation. We're going to talk about it. And until then, guys, hey, man, y'all be easy. Have a great night.